just like that, they buy it. They eat it up. You pander to them, you thank them. I mean, really, people, I thought you were a little bit smarter than that. I mean, it's just so easy to say the name of the city. You cheer.
Hey, Stephanie,
you cheer. I mean, just come on.
Welcome to the A Show.
All right. Welcome back to the A Show. The road to WrestleMania is clearly paved in gold with the Kings of Pro Wrestling podcast. I am Justin, here with Meelz. Meelz, how are you, sir?
I'm ready for WrestleMania, man. I'm ready to get this thing over with. Well, I'm not saying get this over. I'm ready for WrestleMania to start. I've been ready for goddamn, I don't know how long. I'm just ready, bro. It's the season. 'Tis the season to be a wrestling fan and also a casual mark. So
I feel as though I always get excited, maybe like Wednesday, like after like NXT's air, like Wednesday, Thursday, I'm like, okay, it's really going to happen. And then luckily this year, and we're going to talk about it a little bit later, we got a Friday NXT Takeover, and then everything else happens.
I'm just excited. I mean, I'm gonna be out and about. It's in New York City. The excitement is kind of in the air. You know what? My major beef with WWE WrestleMania week is I feel like a lot of the weeks aren't like, they're like events for the fans, but they're not like true like things that like, besides access, it's not like a true like exciting event for me. Like, I'm not really trying to go see the Mets to meet Dana Brooke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hell no.
Like, I'm not trying to go to, the crickets to meet Sasha Banks and Bailey. Like, I'm not really trying to go that. Like, they need to have like a pop-up event or something, like just something different. Just let's do something, because it more just seems like a charity, like a promo run. Everything is a promo run.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be moving. Everybody's going to be shaking. I'm sure one of these people will be on Hot 97 in the next couple of days. It's everything just
Kofi.
feels like.
I think Kofi on Hot 97 would be dope.
Oh, that would be dope. But yeah, I think it's just a nice little promo run. We'll see how it goes. So I'm anticipating WrestleMania 35 in MetLife Stadium in New Jersey.
Yes, and I want to get right to the show. We have a very long show. Our WrestleMania prediction shows are just as big as our year-end shows, obviously. We have a special guest with us. He's waiting. As you see already, Ampaveli will be talking with us about the top matches on the WrestleMania card. And just we got to run through this because it's going to be a really long show.
It's going to be a long show. He's going to come in and he's definitely going to talk about the top three, the most discussion that we've had. He's in terms of the conversation that we've had over the last couple months, it's really just been Seth Brock, Kofi and Daniel Bryan, and the women's championship main event. And we're bringing him in to talk about those matches, just to give us a third party so we don't kill each other again.
Yes.
But other than that, yeah, we plan on going over the entire WWE weekend from NXT Takeover through WrestleMania.
And let's just go ahead right into it. The last Hall of Fame inductee was announced, and honestly, like, this is just something I'll just announce it. We just go to the next day. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, I guess, is being inducted.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's in New York. They could have done Taz or something. I don't know. Whatever. Even the Brooklyn Brawler, I would have appreciated over Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Yeah.
What was his WCW name? He was the Booty Man.
Booty Man, yeah. I was like Booty Daddy. I was like, no, that's Scott Steiner. It was the Booty Man.
Listen.
Yeah, I don't know what type of booty man he is, bro.
I don't know. The only booty man I knew is in the main event for the WWE Championship right now. So I don't know any other booty man in my damn life. But
so congratulations to Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have Hogan induct him, and they just haven't announced it yet. So good on WWE for having him be booed on Saturday. Good job.
We should tell Hogan to pull up to Wale Mania because we just want to talk to him for a second. He's like, yo, let's just talk for a second. Just pull up to Wale Mania. We just want to talk.
Come here, boy. Come here.
Yo, pull up, bro. We just want to talk.
Speaking of just want to talk, John Oliver had a lot of talking to do on Sunday on late night tonight, HBO, a big expose on the WWE and their independent contractor status. He used. Have you seen it yet, Meelz?
I watched the entire thing, which I normally don't do, but I did watch the entire thing. And my first thing was like, this was really like a 23-minute long segment. How long is this damn show? But
It's around that long.
But my second point was, actually, I have a few points. One, why was it? It's obviously being done around WrestleMania time for a purpose.
Well, they did the Saudi Arabia thing last year, and that did well for them. And I'm guessing that's why they're coming right back to it now.
Two, it took them too long to get to their actual point.
Yeah, all he did was shit on wrestling for like a good 3-4 minutes.
I don't know if he should. He seems like a fan, but he just wants better.
He's not a fan. He as a fan, all he's using is all the violent, embarrassing. Like, remember, this is written by people.
Oh yeah.
This is written by a writing team. It
had to be written by fans because the way the exact clips that were used through this entire thing, it's like it had to be written by fans. But nonetheless, yes, continue.
I felt as though when he did get to his point, he used a lot of points that, and listen, I'm all for them having health care and stuff like that. This is a very steep mountain that are like they're trying to build an argument off of, because these guys and women have been living this way for a very long time. And I feel as though a lot of them don't even know how a union would work. And it's easy for people to say, like, let's unionize, let's do this. But it's like, who's going to put this in place? Like, that's my big question. Like, who's going to put this in place?
So I thought it was and speaking of unions this week, I thought it was very interesting. This week, if you're a journalist or something, Pitchfork announced that they're getting a union, which is, to me, just great for writers.
Yes.
Especially people who just lose their job in an instant and there's really no support for them all after the fact. I do agree that I agreed with his point that they're independent contractors, but they're not allowed to really do anything else. Or they're independent contractors and they're not really allowed to negotiate or do these other things. But same way that they're not able to do these things, they're still not provided their health care and they're still not provided sort of various things. Well, in the last decade, WWE has provided they'll tell you this. Their whole PR team will tell you this. They'll provided rehab for any, sort of old superstars currently on the roster or superstars of the past who are going through any sort of drug, situation, which I do think is a push in the right step. But a push in the right direction. Yeah. But I do think that it's a hard steep to come over, but I don't think it's impossible.
No, I don't either. I still think that who is gonna head this up, because a lot of this is a carny ass. This is a carny ass sport, or
I agree.
Like, it's so carny. Like, look at who comes out the woodwork after this comes out. Literally, the worst of some of them, the worst of the worst. Some of them really good people, but it's like they're all coming out just to be like, okay, my name's out again. It's like these people love the spotlight. You feel me?
But I do feel like there should be. WWE is a great company, and while yes, this is a very carny sport, I feel like WWE has done a lot over the last decade or so to sort of push to become a little bit more legitimate. Like, for instance, like the firing of Bill DeMott, for instance. Like, typically 10 years ago, people stretch you, insult you, all these other things when they're training you, and you just kind of had to deal with it. But them, superstars being embarrassed and superstars being mistreated during that, they eventually had to say, like, no, we can't do that anymore. We're legitimized. We're a business. We're trying to go straight and go on a path that's sort of respectable so we can be touted as respectable again.
Even funnier about that is there were people that were like, I don't think he should have been fired. Literally in the company.
Yeah. It's crazy, but I do think WWE wants to go a much more respectable route. I do think that they should, I do think if there was a union, there would have been definitely some sort of renegotiation of contracts, because I think just the fact that certain wrestlers can't do certain things, but can still be considered independent contractors, kind of crazy. And one of them's like deals and things like that. Like, CM Punk and Brock Lesnar themselves have also been, talking about the promotion things for like Jimmy John's or things like that, how they can go out and sort of seek their own deals with their own agents or stuff, but they're independent contractors.
Right.
Like you either work for the company or you don't work for the company. Independent contractors don't specifically work for the company.
They're freelancers.
Right. But you get all the, I mean, I think WWE is like, but you get all the acclaim and you get all the money and you get all the exposure and you get all the other things that come with the company that you wouldn't get before.
And you know what is funny is that they have these NXT guys that are on like really crazy deals where they can work NXT and indies. Like Pete Dunne and them were able to do that last year.
Right.
Walter, I think, still has a kind of crazy deal too, because he is still working indies while he's doing NXT UK, and not even some of the NXT UK people aren't allowed to do that, but he is.
Right. So I think they're definitely taking the steps to transform. They've since then invited him to WrestleMania, so they can. First of all, if this is what I knew how to get invited to WrestleMania, I would have done this a long ass time ago. Because still, I'm not going to WrestleMania, but it would probably be bad if he did go.
I think the segment here, you know, to circle it back to John Oliver, it did use a lot of outdated things.
Yeah, a lot of outdated things.
Using Wrestling with Shadows to talk about that, that's something
you know, it's almost over 20 years ago at this point.
Yeah, and even just some of the shots that he took, I know a lot of people were talking about the Roman Reigns thing, where I was just like, you know, that does suck, and I think that if they were real fans writing this, they would have erred on the side of using someone else as an example there. Maybe a Bray Wyatt, I don't know, like somebody that's not someone who just recovered from cancer. That would have been a lot better. But you know, this is going to be a battle that goes on for a very long time, and I do like that it put the impetus on the fans. And telling us that we have to tell them that we want this for the performers, for their safety. And I think that is true. I think WWE does listen to the fans more often than not. They do also listen to their constituents and the sponsors that they use. I think a lot of noise is made about this. This is a company that just got a $2 billion deal for two of their biggest shows. I think that it is absolutely possible that they will have healthcare. And it will happen, or that it could happen. But the question is, who is manning this? Who is holding this? Because the people that I think that there definitely should be wrestlers that kind of do consulting with it, but I don't think it should be run by a former wrestler at all.
No, but I do think that in order for this to sort of happen, it would have to be a sort of a major star. I feel like a lot of the people in the company don't really want to man this because they don't want to put their careers on the line. Like I couldn't see a Finn Balor or a Drew McIntyre deciding to really go for bat for this, because I think they would be erased off the face of the earth. Could I see a John Cena or Roman Reigns or a Ronda Rousey doing something like this and advocating for something like this? Yes, I could see that as well, but I could also see it happening back behind the scenes. I could see even Triple H, who's you know, part of corporate now, but was once a WWE superstar, who kind of understands both ways, has had both quads torn, who has lost friends and lost family and lost all these other people to this business, has had to probably gone to more funerals than he'd like to in the last decade or so, advocating for this and figuring out how to sort of put this in motion. It's something that, well, while it probably WWE could go on forever and not include this and it would still be fine. It would still be the $1 million company. All these people would still be paid insanely amounts of money. They would still have, you know, they would still wrestle for a living and may enjoy it or may not enjoy it. But to me, in terms of, I mean, and this has been going on for the last 50 years. To me, this is something that I feel like morally it should happen, ethically it should happen, and to sort of preserve the talent that we all hold near. I think the 80s are a different time now than they are now, and a lot of drugs and a lot of different things were going on in the 80s that are not prominent now. And I think WWE superstars take a lot better care of themselves now in this decade than they have more than 20 years ago, which is why I think they'll probably live longer lives. But to sort of ensure they're superstars and to ensure these type of things and be able to help them when they're down, because they are putting their lives on the line every night and they are putting their bodies on the line every night. Some healthcare wouldn't hurt, bro. Like, it actually probably wouldn't. It'd probably be the best thing for them. It would probably be crazy. I don't know how much money they'd lose doing that, which is probably
that's the big hang up.
That's the big thing. But they're already $1 billion, multi-million-dollar company, and I feel like it would be.
And they're about to make more money when the advertisements roll in.
And they're about to make more money, and I think if you make this all about the money and this is a business and be treating these people such and such, you can't hold them to the sort of standards that you hold them. People should be able to come and go as they want. People should be able to be booked however they want or seek whatever, sponsors or things that they want, and should be able to live their lives that way. That's just my take on it.
I want them to keep that energy for everybody else. UFC, who makes them wear? Don't they make them wear Reebok stuff and tap out shit?
Right.
Like AEW, who Lord knows what they do, but they had a lot. They had a lot of shit to say.
Well, AEW has an opportunity as a new company to decide to see how they go about this, but they're a new company, so I'm not sure if this will be enacted immediately. But if they wanted to step up on the WWE, this is it.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, check out that segment. I believe it's on the HBO YouTube at this point.
It's fully there. It's in the full segment in all of its glory.
23 minutes. Let us know how you feel about it. At OG Johnny 5 and at Meelz TV. One more thing before we move on. Did you see this thing that Tommaso Ciampa said? Speaking of healthcare, that he said on Twitter the other day.
Yes, I did. He said
he wrote in May of 2017. They told me that no one has ever had 3 surgeries in a 12-week span and returned at a competitive level. I returned to the most successful run of my career. This week, I should be preparing to walk into the main event of Takeover New York on WrestleMania weekend as the NXT champion. That match meant more to me than anyone will ever understand. The opportunity was taken away from me. In March of 2019, they told me that if I return, I will be on borrowed time. To be continued. Really heavy stuff there from Tommaso Ciampa.
I mean, I have no doubt about it that he's on borrowed time. This is his second neck surgery.
Yes.
I'm surprised. I mean, if Kurt Angle could wrestle as long as he did, and he's wrestled for the last 20 years, and he started out, he's wrestling in the Olympics with a broken neck, and this has been plaguing his career, and you kind of see where it goes now. He's 50, he kind of moves awkwardly, all these other things. He's had to go through drug addictions and sort of come off of that and all this other of the sort. Tommaso Ciampa is very well on borrowed time. I don't think there's been a WWE superstar who's had the sort of the amount of neck issues and neck injuries that had and managed to stuck around for another decade, besides maybe Kurt Angle.
It's tough for Ciampa as well, because I think in good faith that if the doctor is telling him that, I don't think this is a Daniel Bryan situation. I think that this is his neck. The same thing that Edge went through and things of that nature.
And Paige and Stone Cold Steve Austin and a lot of other people. If
the doctors are telling him that, then I don't think in good faith they will clear him to do anything. And it really does suck. But what I did want to ask is if he doesn't, if he isn't able to, and I don't want that to be a thing. I do want to see Ciampa come back. I did enjoy his heel run, but if he isn't able to, do you think he steps into a producer agent role, or does he go into commentary, or does he become a manager? Like, what do you think?
I don't really fully know all of his strengths, but I definitely know he's very good at wrestling. So maybe, probably somewhere in the back. As I said with probably the Paige thing a number of years back, I'm like, this is an opportunity. You've been wrestling all your life. If wrestling is what you want to continue with, then by all means do that. But this is also an opportunity to seek sort of your life and get sort of fulfillment outside of that. Right. Whereas wrestling could become a sort of sport that could become encompassing on your life, and you kind of don't really see things outside of it. And oftentimes I also feel like wrestlers don't even really see the world moving around them because of how much they're moving. You don't really have the time to stop and really kind of assess things in the world and assess things in life as you're continuously moving 300 days a year, every weekend. Go, 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 go. You have an opportunity to take a step back and decide how I want to live a civilian life and what else things that I'm good at. I believe that it's still something on the line that people can sort of do. I feel like Paige in itself, while Paige is still much so WWE, I think she's managed to become an Instagram celebrity in a sense.
I mean, she's got her own clothing line, all that stuff.
She's while WWE has provided the platform, she's sort of taking that to the next level, and she's going to continue to take that to the next level. And the same thing we saw with Nikki Bella, who, while she has retired from WWE, she has used that. She's probably going to go into acting. She's apparently doing podcasting, but she has her own clothing line, and she's sort of living out her dreams. You have an opportunity for that as well. I don't think because you're a wrestler, you're tied into wrestling. But if it's what you love, man, then by all means, give back to it. Yeah, give back.
All right, so that was No Holds Barred for this week going into WrestleMania weekend. After the break, we will return with our predictions of NXT Takeover New York, a show that is emanating from the Barclays Center. We're going to talk about the whole card there, and then we're going to talk about WrestleMania 35 after that. So after this break, we'll be right back with NXT.
They didn't roll out the red carpet for me like they did for you. I didn't get to debut in front of 15,000 people in New York and get a top spot immediately in NXT. No, my story started June 2015 at my tryout where I was told no. But you know what? I didn't take no for an answer, okay? I fought for one chance, and that chance came at the first ever Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. I fought so hard that they chanted Johnny Wrestling. I fight for everyone out there who's ever been told no. I fight for everyone who's ever been told that their dream will not come true. I fought and I earned everything I have because this place is my life. I will fight to fulfill my destiny. And Johnny Wrestling will finally become NXT champion.
All right, we're back on the A Show, WrestleMania weekend prediction show. This is like the main event, so to speak. Or actually, no, it's like the pre-show pre-card. First up, what we're gonna do. We're going to go over our predictions for NXT TakeOver New York, which will emanate from the Barclays Center. And on Friday night, very different for TakeOver. It's on a Friday night instead of a Saturday night this year. You think that's going to change anything, Meelz?
It gives me something to do on a Friday night, I'll tell you that. No, not really. I mean, it's to me, it's the energy is probably even better. It's much better. I don't know if it's much better, but it just feels it feels fresh. I'm with it.
Yeah, it changes the dynamic. I don't know how they do this later on this year.
Friday Night SmackDown is on.
Yeah, that's going to be a very weird dynamic. I'm
sure they change it to Saturday. It's not.
They have to.
I'm sure they change it back to Saturday. I think they only did Friday because they didn't want people falling asleep at the Hall of Fame ceremony on Friday and then having to work again the following day, and then potentially having to work again the following day. Yeah. But then it's kind of weird. I don't know where they're doing the Hall of Fame ceremony. Is it at the Barclays? Because then you kind of have to transform the Barclays into this auditorium thing between having the middle of a show. So I'm interested in the whole crew work aspect of that, where they're flipping. Usually when it's TakeOver and then it's the pay-per-view, you just add more seats.
It's in Barclays.
Yeah, with the Hall of Fame ceremony, you kind of got to transform into this auditorium-esque with a stage, etc. It might still have the TakeOver logo at the Hall of Fame ceremony, or something like that. But I'm sure they'll be working on that. WrestleMania is at MetLife Stadium, so I'm sure there's multiple crews working on multiple things. But it's just an interesting take. And then they got to transform it back from Monday Night Raw, to Tuesday Night SmackDown.
Yeah, and then even then, later this year. Or next year when they do this again, if they do it that way, they got the SmackDown set is more than likely going to be different because of the Fox money. The Fox bag is coming in, so it's going to be super, super interesting. I also have an issue with it being TakeOver New York instead of Brooklyn, even though it's technically in the same place TakeOver Brooklyn takes place in.
You semantics, you know what I'm saying?
You can't call it Brooklyn though, huh?
No, I mean, I'm sure they anticipated on getting MSG and just couldn't because things.
Let's shoot with the Nassau. Fuck it. Looking at this card, just on paper, I mean, I think you probably agree with me, Meelz. This looks like probably one of the strongest takeovers ever.
I mean, we talked about last week where the bathroom breaks. There are absolutely none on this card. Everything is friggin' incredible. So, I mean, I'm gonna be there. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, I mean, let's get into the card.
Yeah, let's go right into it. First match that we have on here right now is the War Raiders versus Aleister Black and Ricochet for the NXT Tag Team Championships. As we all know, Aleister Black and Ricochet won the Dusty Rhodes Classic Invitational Tag Team Tournament. I'm pretty sure I said that all fucking wrong. But they basically earned them a spot to face the War Raiders in what seems to be Aleister Black and Ricochet's final match in NXT altogether. What are your thoughts on their NXT tenure, and that being Ricochet and Aleister Black?
You know, I thought, Ricochet hasn't been there for that long. It's probably been, he first debuted in the ring probably last year at NXT New Orleans?
New Orleans, yeah. It was
New Orleans.
So that was his first match.
For him to be there only a year and still have all this sort of glow and sort of a praise around him, and especially him now heading to the main roster, is incredible. And I think everything that they've done with him, from his intro feud with Velveteen Dream to his, North American title to everything of the sort, is kind of like a fantastic first year. And if they managed to kept him for another year, I'm pretty sure he would have won the NXT championship at some point. Aleister Black also feels like someone who could have been in the same, shoes as Ricochet and could have really just lasted on the roster a year, because he's that, distinct and that cool of a talent. But, he did last a little bit longer, and there's nothing wrong with that. He became NXT champion. He became, all these other things like that. I like the way they're going out. It's not something where it's just like the NXT championship match, which, telegraphs it a little bit too hard, especially for something that's so prestigious and something like that. But it is a cool way to go out, especially if you're going against the War Raiders, who are a formidable tag team, while I don't like to admit it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as their tenure, I think that both of them came in as stars. I mean, I can just remember when Aleister debuted and they did the rise up from the stage thing, and the crowd completely popped. Like, it was a moment, the same way that the Finn Balor introducing the Demon was a moment at that time as well. And Ricochet, I mean, like you said, like, what can you say about this guy? Like, within the first couple of months of him being there, he won a title. He was the guy that on the touring brand, as far as NXT goes, he made them the most money out of everyone. Like, he was selling out shows all over the loops. Like, this guy is someone who actually did turn the corner for NXT. It's not a surprise that they want him on the main roster that quickly, and also surprising that he back completely, like, went around 205 Live. I mean, a lot of people thought that's where he was going to be, like, bookmarked to go, and he didn't go to 205 Live at all. Didn't even sniff it.
Well, yes. But I don't know if I ever expected him to go to 205 Live. I felt like he was more like even though Neville did go to 205 Live, I always felt like he was more of a Neville character, or even a Seth Rollins to the extent, something who just happened to be a high flyer, but still can kind of do both. And the way he's been hanging in the ring with all of the heavyweights, I don't really see how he could have gone to I feel like you leave a lot of money on the table, especially if you put him on 205 Live. 205 Live, while there's no disrespect to the people involved, is not for people who are like going, that feels like I feel like the company feels like it's going to make them a ton of money. I feel like 205 Live are for people who just like, it's the workers brand. It's for people who work. It's for people who do that. Now, you could get on that roster and change that. A la Ali. That was a tongue tie right there. But yeah, I mean, you know what? Ricochet, if they go to the main roster, if they start on the main roster, and the shakeup is coming up pretty soon, so hopefully they'll find actual space on the roster, I'm all for it. As far as the War Raiders, they've really been like, when they have these Dusty Rhodes tag team tournament things, the tag team champions tend to take like a back seat, and the tag team champions don't really like do anything, and that's kind of where situations go awry. But they're exciting nonetheless. So I anticipate whatever will happen with them.
I love the War Raiders. I think they have a great look. I don't think they've been given a lot to work with on NXT so far. So like you said, like, they are spectacular, but I could see how someone would not think that they were very spectacular. I think, do we both agree that they're going to win this match?
Yeah, I agree they were going to win this match. Yeah. I just do. It's interesting to see now the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic thing being awarded on the actual show. Yeah. Instead of, on the Full Sail show as opposed to the NXT New York stage. I think I would have appreciated even if the War Raiders were in that tournament, to be honest with you. I thought that could have been a cool aspect to it.
Didn't they put Undisputed Era in it last year?
Yeah, or something. It wasn't. There was definitely a pair of tag team champions that were featured in the tournament one year. I'm sure of it. And I think it might have even been the Revival during the first or second. Yeah. And then they lost to like DIY or something like that. Like they were, I thought that would be a cool aspect. I feel like the prize being in a shot at the NXT Tag Team Championships kind of like, it's not as prestigious as winning the trophy, but here we are nonetheless.
All right, next match on the card, Shayna Baszler versus Io Shirai versus Bianca Belair versus Kairi Sane for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, this match has been built over the past 3 months with almost all of these women, except for Io, getting a one-on-one shot with Shayna, who is the two-time NXT Women's Champion, to try and take the belt off of her. She won the belt back at Evolution last October, and since then she's been on a dominant reign. Hasn't been on TV that much, which I think is very interesting, but I also think it's really cool that the other women have been featured a lot more heavily. I think me and Meelz have kind of like had her earmarked to be called up, any day now. It hasn't happened yet. Possibly, I think every takeover we're like, okay, she's gonna get called up now. I think this one might be the one. Very interesting match also because it's the first time Io and Kairi will be going against each other, and this will probably be Bianca's biggest task to be in like a multi-woman match where she'll probably have to bust out some new stuff, and we'll probably see some new things from her. Being the most powerful woman, kayfabe-wise, in the match. What do you feel about this match, Meelz? And do you think this is going to be Shayna's last match?
I think it should be Shayna's last match. Whether it actually happens, I'm not completely sure, but I do think it should be her last match, especially considering kind of what's going on with Ronda and her potentially leaving after Mania. I think it's just a great opportunity to do it, just to tag out and have her sort of dominate the division from there on out. I think she's done all that she can in NXT, and she's done all that she can probably like 3 months ago. And it's I see the only reason they're keeping her there is for the other two, Jessamine and what's her face?
Jessamine and Marina?
Marina, yeah, sort of keeping them there to kind of like, add a level of star power or maybe just like a little bit of a presence to those, because when she leaves, they're staying. I'm sure they're staying because they're not ready.
No, well, I mean, they've already had them lose to Kairi and Io countless times. I think that I really feel like booking probably wanted them to be more powerful and dominant, and then we're just like, fuck it. Just like,
I honestly think they need to go through a few more reps, and it may not even be on NXT TV. It may be just through, the live events and go through those things. So eventually when they're called up, which I do think will be sometime within the next year, because they're just great. Like the same way they were sort of introduced on the NXT shows, the same way they could be introduced on the main roster show, is sort of helping Shayna get out of a jam. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see where they go, or where she goes after this. If they really keep her, I don't think they're keeping her on the roster. I think Triple H is like, all right, enough is enough. Let's get her out of here.
Yeah, she's got to go. I think that Io, Kairi, and Bianca as your top programs, and I mean, honestly, just introducing more women up to the top. You have so many women that have signed since Shayna's been there. I mean, you have Deonna Purrazzo that's still there. And a lot of women that have been there for years. I see they're giving a renewed push to Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah in the past couple of weeks as well. That, people that could really fill in these spots.
Call that a push. I mean, yeah.
We talk shit about Aaliyah. She's been there 5 years, but they're giving her wins. and they have a character for her. So I mean, we'll see if this experiment happens again with her as a heel. But I mean, as far as the future, I still think that it's as bright as it's ever been. I think you have two really strong female competitors, and again, if this is Kyrie's last match too, I mean, having Io be the centerpiece of the division isn't a bad thing either.
Right. It might be, quite honestly, it might be Kyrie's last one too, because I think Kyrie is ready to go to the main roster as well, and has been ready for quite some time too. So I don't know if they'll stagger it. It feels like a better idea to probably stagger it, but I mean, it might be Shayna Baszler and it might be Kyrie's last match on NXT. So I mean, we have to look into that as well, and we might get an Io versus Bianca Belair sort of program moving forward. Which is to me, it's fine. It's two of the most, in terms of the NXT women's division, to me, it's two of the most popular and two of the most prominent women there, because I feel like for the NXT women's division, they really haven't given it enough of a just due. And I think it's due for a hard reset in terms of like, let's have one big battle royale or something along those lines that NXT tends to usually do when they kind of want to do a major reset. Let's have a huge tournament or a battle royale or something to kind of establish new women on the roster and advocate new threats. And I think Candice LeRae, who was at the Royal Rumble this year, needs to do something. I think Tanera Conti, who's just been chilling.
Mia Yim. I mean, shit. They have Mia Yim.
Mia Yim now, right? Mia Yim also there, chilling. And Lacey, what's her face? Not Lacey Evans, Lacey Lane, right?
Yeah, Lacey Lane.
Another really great competitor that I feel like they need to do something with. I think this has all happened after NXT Takeover New York. I feel like the women's division definitely needs a hard reset for sure.
There have been rumors on both shows that there's going to be a ladder match. Obviously, would be amazing. It has not been announced yet. I think in NXT's case, we're probably set in stone here. But there's been rumors that the ladder match for this show will be this match in particular for the women's championship. How hard do you think, just looking at this card, a lot of times the ladies have either come close to or actually just overshadowed the men in these takeover events.
But it hasn't happened in a long time, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it's like, how hard do you think it's going to be for them to steal the show on this card?
It's going to be pretty tough, to be honest with you. Everyone's kind of a major worker, and everyone has been working. Everyone else on this card has been working for NXT or just working in the business for a long time. Like, none of these, it's probably the least tenured one on this card, maybe Velveteen Dream, and he's still friggin' incredible.
I mean, so, Bianca too. Again, still incredible.
If they added the stipulation for a ladder match, I think it'd be a great pop for the Brooklyn crowd. I thought it'd be a great way to sort of do this, and you have a way where Shayna Baszler loses without getting pinned, and you have a way that no one really looks crazy being choked out.
And that's why I don't like the ladder match stipulation there, because Shayna needs to lose definitively either to Io, who's pinned her.
She'll lose on the main roster, just like all the other undefeated folks on NXT. I'm sure she'll lose pretty handsomely on the main roster.
But she's not undefeated. I mean, obviously she's been pinned before. I just think that she needs to go out, I mean, on her back, so to speak. I think that, if this is her, I have less of a penchant for believing this is her last match if it's a ladder match than if it was a straightforward match. Because she still has to go out. Everyone in NXT goes out on the back.
I think if it was a one-on-one match, yes. If it wasn't, and they might still put her on the next tapings or something. Like, legitimately just be like, okay, Shayna Baszler or Kairi Sane one more time. Winner becomes, number one contender or gets a shot or something along those lines. And that's how it kind of goes. Because I feel like Kairi Sane also needs a measure of victory, or Io Shirai at this point.
Yeah, Kairi needs revenge at this point. I think that she's kind of been put to the back burner. So
kind of like what they did with Bobby and Roddy. Where Bobby got called up and then Roddy, got his, revenge eventually. So I think they could do something like that. But it's, it'll be interesting to see where they all go.
It'll be tough to see how they finish up. Okay. mean, I think NXT booking is rarely ever super surprising. I mean, I think Gargano winning the North American title was probably the most surprising thing I'd have seen from this place in a very long time. I do think that they will err on the side of being on the right side of history, and I think Io Shirai wins this in New York.
I'm also gonna go with Io Shirai. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Io Shirai.
I think if you wanna put somebody in the top of your division and you want to have great matches, you have her with the belt for a long time.
Right.
Definitely have her with the belt. Next match, very interesting. I think this is sneakily the most interesting match of the weekend and of this card. Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle for the NXT North American Championship. The big question is it too soon, or do you have Matt Riddle lose here after being undefeated?
Yeah, why the hell not? I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not for the major undefeated streaks. I think I think they make characters incredibly one-dimensional, and it doesn't add to a lot to them, and it doesn't give them, especially Matt Riddle, who needs, I won't say he's an underdog babyface, but he needs that sort of build and sort of to come from under and things like that. I'm not in favor of it. This is a big show for Matt Riddle to lose at, which is why it's very, very interesting. If he does lose, especially Velveteen Dream, who has lost like a jillion times. But I think, to me, whether I weigh the stakes, North American champion with Matt Riddle or North American champion with Velveteen Dream.
It's definitely interesting because, giving Velveteen a 1 month reign doesn't help him at all. It just kind of furthers his, like you said, like he's a big loser, but I think also that is within his character because he's so self-absorbed that he doesn't care about shit like that, which I get. But I do think he needs a big win against a big guy that's not just Johnny Gargano, and that's only because Johnny was about to get called up, at that time anyway. Mm-hmm. But again, like you said, Riddle losing here, he's been there about 9 months, like 8 or 9 months at this point now. I don't think it hurts him at all. I think he will give, and I'll say this right now, I think he and Velveteen will have Velveteen's best match that he's ever had. I think just their styles. Wow. I mean, I don't think that we've seen the Matt Riddle that people have been clamoring and hyping up yet.
So you think he'd give Matt Riddle his best match because Velveteen Dream has had bangers, by the way.
No, I think that really they'll both give each other the best match. I misspoke. I think that really, like, Riddle hasn't been. He's been kind of thrown into matches where it's like the only time I actually felt like or saw the Riddle that I had been seeing in PWG and in other indies was the Fatal 5-Way from a couple of weeks ago. Mm. And now it's like we'll finally get to see him in a one-on-one match with someone that's not like, in all respect to Cassius Ohno, who's a great performer, not where he was a couple of years ago, but now he'll be able to kind of show off against a younger guy that is a lot more athletic and that has a lot more to prove in Velveteen Dream. So my prediction here is that Velveteen Dream will win.
I'm also, you know what? I don't like to go against the Dream. I feel like Riddle's going to take the W in this. I don't know why. I just feel like I love Velveteen Dream. I just think Matt Riddle's going to win this. I don't know why. I don't know what's the hunch. I just feel like they're going to let him run with this.
Yeah, especially, and we'll talk about it later, especially if there's an outcome that I think is going to happen in the main event. I think that they'll let Riddle run with this belt for a while because I do think Riddle will be there for a while.
I feel like we've said so many people are going to run with this belt for a while, and literally everyone has lost in their first title defense. Ricochet did.
Did he?
He did.
No. He beat Pete Dunne in the winner. No, he didn't beat Pete Dunne in the winner.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't at all.
Who did Ricochet face?
He faced literally one person. He faced two people for the championship. Only one of them was an actual match, and he lost to what's his face? Gargano.
I never even thought about that. He just kind of had it for a minute, huh?
Yeah, he had it for a minute, same as Adam Cole.
Yeah, Dream. He didn't have the title with Dream. He beat Cole for the title. Then there was War Games. Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
He beat Tyler Breeze. He beat Tyler Breeze.
That wasn't for no damn title.
It was for the title.
I don't remember that. Tyler Breeze doesn't count. He's like D'Lo Brown. Oh my God.
He had the belt for 161 days.
I believe it.
That's crazy. But yeah, you're right. I think someone should have a prolonged. Well, no, Adam Cole did defend it more than 5 times. I do know that.
On live events or like?
No, on TV. He defended it at the NXT UK event. Where else did he defend it at? He beat a couple of people for that belt or to defend that belt. Only Lorcan at one point tried to go against him for the title. He beat him. A couple of people. There was a couple of people that he did beat for or he did defend the title against.
We shall see. We shall see.
But yeah, I think it's very surprising you picked Matt Riddle, especially because of how much you love Dream.
I love the Dream. I just think it's Matt Riddle. I don't know why. It's just, unfortunately, it is.
Next match for the NXT UK Heavyweight Championship, Pete Dunne versus Walter. Now, if there's a match of the weekend that I am very excited for, it is this fucking match right here. Pete Dunne and Walter have been kind of circling each other for the past couple of months ever since he debuted earlier this year at NXT UK Takeover. They've had tag matches together, and at this point, the mutual respect has become total hatred between the two men. I watched their contract signing from a week ago on NXT UK. Thought it was a tremendous angle, especially having Walter speak and call Pete Peter, which was pretty fucking hilarious. I just think that there's a lot of potential for this to be the match of the weekend. And also, I mean, with Pete Dunne holding that title for over 600 days, the potential history...
Over 700 days.
Oh, yeah, over 700 days. The potential for history to be made in this match is fucking colossal, especially having, if you have Walter win this match. And, I mean, words can't be expressed just how incredible Pete Dunne has been as the UK champion. I mean, it's become synonymous with him to a point where I feel as though if he loses this match, I mean, it's still going to be looked at as his belt. Like that is just his championship.
I think just what Pete Dunne has done with this championship. I mean, I don't think I would have been mad if he had lost it like 400 days ago, but also it's not his title reign has just been incredible in his entire run itself. He's been synonymous with the NXT UK from the days before it was a brand to the days that it was a brand, and now everything in between, and just that they're getting this opportunity in New York is even insane in itself. Yeah. I think this is it for Pete Dunne, though. I think, quite frankly, it should be it for Pete Dunne. I think at some point it's like, you've done so much. You've done what you can do. It's time for somebody else now. It's time for other people to step in the forefront and challenge for this championship. And Walter is a major, colossal hurdle to get over. But I think you do much better for the roster if you decide to go that way. But yeah, I mean, I think if I had to pick, it's all Walter. I think it's time. It's unfortunately Pete Dunne's time to bow out.
How many times has Pete Dunne lost in the last 3 years?
I don't remember. Like
once during the NXT UK, he might have lost on, I think, NXT Ricochet. TV. Yeah, I think he lost to Ricochet once on NXT TV. Maybe. He hasn't lost. Like he's been damn near undefeated. Not, I won't say he's undefeated, but like he's been damn near like protected the most. Like he's been like Brock Lesnar protected on WWE.
I would say that. I think he's just really, really good. I think it's a difference between.
Well, I mean, being protected is an admission that you are that good. I mean, I think that you don't hold it to champion, and even in the days and weeks leading to all of his title defenses, he doesn't get pinned.
So. According to the Internet Wrestling Database, because I got to do my Googles.
Shout out to them.
Pete Dunne has had 7 matches on NXT UK, 6 matches on NXT UK. He has had 7. He's lost 1. He has had.
Was it a tag match?
Let me see. Let me actually pull it up. Shout out to the Internet Wrestling Database. This is the first time. Listen, it's WrestleMania weekend. It's time we start using this thing.
Yeah.
He lost to. It was a. Where is it? I'm bugging right now. Hold on.
I think it had to be a tag match. I think I watched that show.
Then Walter, he defeats that. Where the hell did he lose? Why wouldn't they put the losses here? I'll let you know. But
I do think that it is time. I think I agree with you here. It is Walter's time. I think you give these guys 20 minutes. Do not give them 40 minutes like he had at NXT UK Takeover. Please do not. I think a good 15 to 10 minute match. Even going to 20, stretching it with a Walter match. Do like 10 to 15. That's really all you need. I think you put over how dominant Walter is. If you want to keep it 100,
he did lose a tag. It was a tag match, by the way.
Yeah. I remember it was a tag match with him and Walter, right?
It was the tag match with Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang defeated Pete Dunne, Trent Severin, and Tyler Bate in a 6-person tag for the NXT tapings. This might have been before the NXT Takeover Blackpool show.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But I think that you if you even do 5 minutes and have Pete Dunne get taken out, literally like a squash match, I think that even makes Walter look better.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I think that makes him look like a king, and I think I'd be okay with that too. And it would steal the show in a different way, in that Pete Dunne has never been dominated like that before.
Right.
So main event time: Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano in a 2 out of 3 falls match for the NXT Championship. Of course, this match is happening because Tommaso Ciampa had to get neck surgery a couple of weeks ago, which vacated the NXT title. The match was originally going to be Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa, and what I'm guessing would have been like a winner-take-all situation. The storyline was, of course, that Johnny was playing possum the whole time with Tommaso, joining his side just to turn on him in the same way that he did to Johnny a couple of years ago.
I feel like this still makes Johnny Gargano look like a dickhead, but whatever.
What the fact that he gets the title match?
The fact that he doesn't really have a distinct character of his own. He kind of just like he turned evil for the sake of winning this belt, and then he couldn't win the belt, and then he did it in more chicanery to actually win a belt, and then he lost it and decided that he actually needed this other person because actually when he had the alliance with Ciampa, he would do better. Like that's when he would actually win.
That was the ploy. I thought that was the plan. I thought that was his ploy. Like I honestly do feel like
still feels like he's a loser.
Well, sure, but I still feel like the storyline is that he's been playing possum this whole time. He lost to Velveteen on like a kind of like a nothing show. Not a nothing show, but like on TV. He lost to Velveteen, and that was part of his plan. Was to have Ciampa think that he needed him, and then when he was the most vulnerable, he would try and take his title.
Sounds evil.
Which again, I mean, it plays into Johnny becoming what he hated to get back at the guy that he hated the whole time. Whatever.
And they did. I feel like they haven't even decided to like remedy that.
No, they didn't. I mean, his promo on what is pretty much the go home show. I don't think there's going to be a.
There's one more show next week, but it's not a.
It's going to be video packages and shit.
It's going to be Bianca versus Io is on this show.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as the dudes, the guys, I think all those segments were filmed on that episode we're talking about, but they moved them around, I think. But I think this is going to be just a bunch of video packages and shit. And with that match,
we shall see. But I did. No doubt in my mind. Yes.
But even on his kind of go home promo for that Adam Cole match, he's a face again. Right. He's Johnny Wrestling again, and again. They didn't even get to finish the fucking storyline anyway. It's terrible. Let's just move on from it. We now have the match between Cole and Gargano for the first time ever. This one's going to go 40 to 45 minutes. So if you have to go pee, I would like I said last week, you should probably do it during the first fall, Meelz.
They're going to do that weird shit that they do in ironic wrestling where the first 2 falls happen within the first 5 minutes. And I'm just going to be like, you know what, whatever. Maybe I didn't deserve this. But yes, I'm definitely going to go pee during this match.
I think this is going to be, again, Adam Cole, for someone who a lot of people weren't big fans of coming into this as far as his in-ring. He has become just such a fully fleshed out character and a better wrestler since being on NXT. I think this is going to be his major test.
I feel like we can still go a bit further. I feel like
this is the match for that.
Yeah, but this was in response to, it wasn't like it was planned. So, but I do feel Adam Cole is fantastic. Do I feel like he's fully like fleshed to where he is? Nah, I feel like there's definitely more to go, because I feel like while he has been good, I feel like they haven't highlighted Undisputed Era in a way that's like, besides possibly the 2 War Games matches, they haven't highlighted them in a way where they're like a dominant force in NXT like they could be.
They had all the belts at one point, except for the championship.
But they still would like it to me, and just sort of the main sort of like how Ciampa and Gargano were the sort of main 2 figures on the show. Like they haven't had that sort of opportunity, which I think they do, I think they could. And then they also haven't been featured on every show as well. So it's kind of like, we'll see what happens. I do feel like this is the opportunity for Adam Cole to become fully fleshed. I don't think he's fully fleshed now. I think if he was
fully fleshed as like in what terms? I mean, I think as a heel, you pretty much know he's a chicken shit jock type idiot character that cheats to win and stuff like that. I think that's been his character. I mean, I want to know like what more fully fleshed can he get than what he is, other than turning into a face. I was like, remember I said a couple weeks ago, like I felt as though this losing streak he was going on was actually going to lead to something, and now they've had to kind of cut it short, obviously because of injuries. But I thought that would have fleshed him out as far as him going into a losing streak and then him finally getting a title and realizing that, you know, the way that he was doing it was the wrong way. So, I mean, that might actually come into play in this match as well, but what more fleshed out do you want him to be?
I just feel like there's more opportunity for us to know a little bit more and a little bit, get a little bit more into Adam Cole. I feel like he's definitely, don't get me wrong, he's popular shit. Don't get me wrong, he's popular shit. But I just feel like as a character-wise, I think we haven't fully gotten there where I would confidently say like, yo, fully fleshed. Like,
to his credit, to juxtapose, is Johnny Gargano fully fleshed?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Like a lot.
No, he's not fully fleshed. He's been like shades of gray.
He's way more than Adam Cole. I'll tell you that. Until you know his motivations, you know that what he's willing to do, what he's willing to take. Like from the beginning, he's had probably in NXT the most like actual fully fleshed career arc that there ever has been. As someone who came in as a rookie, had, you know, did everything that they did to sort of win, found out that sometimes being the good guy doesn't mean that you win all the matches and you have the fairy tale endings, to having to transform because of that and become way more demonic or just way more evil to do that. And then try to like, to me, that story hasn't ended in a way that I find satisfying, but it definitely has happened. Whereas Adam Cole come in and he's kind of really just been the same guy since he's kind of been there. Like it's really, and I think, you know, we need way more. I feel like he could have used way more competition or way more, you know, just people to go against, just a lot of different, you know, characters to go against. Kind of how like Velveteen at this point has a match on every NXT Takeover show, or Gargano does. I feel like that should be the role for him as well. But I mean, we're here. It doesn't matter. I think Adam Cole's going to win.
This was tough. I'll go against the grain here, and I think. Well, if Adam Cole wins, he becomes a Grand Slam champion in NXT, which is outstanding.
Does he?
Yes, he won the tag titles last year.
He didn't win the tag titles.
Yes, he did.
He defended the tag titles because what's-his-face was injured.
He technically won the tag titles, bro.
Nah, that wasn't winning. He was defending it on behalf of what's-his-face who was injured against Roddy and
well, he won the Dusty. He won the Dusty.
He won the Dusty, yeah. But he didn't win the Dusty.
Won the Dusty, won the North American, and he if he won this, he'd be a Triple Crown then. They're considered. What they would probably consider that. If he won
I looked it up because I wanted to be sure as well. That's why I'm saying. Like I looked it up a couple of weeks ago. I was like, yo, would he become a first Triple Crown champion? But he doesn't really have the tag title. He defended it on behalf of somebody.
So if Kofi wasn't in the outcome of a tag title match, that Big E and Xavier won,
it?
I thought that's what it was. That's why I thought. That's why I considered him a tag team champion, because I thought they've always freebirded it, because now it's right back to Fish and O'Reilly again.
I gotta see. Let me look at this. Let me look at what WWE has. I mean, maybe you're right. Who knows?
Because because they still consider Big E a tag team champion, or Kofi or Xavier, even if they weren't in the outcome of the actual finish of a tag match.
But I feel like that was established that they were freebirding it. But maybe I could be wrong. So yeah,
I could be wrong as well.
So I mean, we'll find out. We'll find out.
I have to say, I think Johnny's gonna win this.
Huh.
I think Johnny's gonna win this match.
I would be very.
I'd be shocked.
I wouldn't be mad. I would just be like, okay, whatever.
Well, but the thing is, it's like if they're ready to call him up, he's not gonna win. And I feel as though the messaging for Ricochet and Black has been a little more direct than it has been for Johnny, if you know what I'm saying. Like, they've been on these loops saying goodbye. Johnny has not. So it's like, I don't know if they're gonna call him up. But if they do, there's been rumors that Johnny Gargano is going to go to 205 Live.
I started those rumors.
You know what? I'm not mad at it, brother. I think
what I'm OD mad at. I get it now. It's like a victim. It's terrible for him. Just because someone went down with a neck injury, now I'm on 205 Live. It doesn't even feel like right.
They need him. I think 205, as you already
205 Live don't need him, man.
Yes, they do. They're rebranding. I mean, obviously, Cedric's probably going to be on the way out. Oni's coming in. Kushida's probably going to come into the show. I think letting Johnny do his 20-25 minute bullshit on 205 Live is way better than him getting 4 to 5 minutes on a Monday night at a time or a Tuesday night at a time. Like, I think that there's always opportunity for you to go up with Mustafa Ali, and it's been a great experiment for them. I think Cedric Alexander is going to be the next example of that. I do think he will be leaving that show after whatever happens with Oni happens. But I think Gargano Oni, Gargano Buddy Murphy, Gargano Nice, Gargano Kushida, all fucking bang. Gargano Leo Rush, all fucking bangers. Like, I think he could really thrive on 205 Live, and I don't think he'd be there that long.
I don't know. I mean,
would you really be OD mad that he's not getting fucking Claymore?
Would I be OD mad?
That
no.
He wouldn't be getting Claymore kicked in the face every Monday?
Would I be OD mad? No. And that wouldn't be the reason I would be mad. But would I be OD mad? No. Because I said it from the beginning that this would happen.
I do think that, like, honestly, it's the best move. Someone has to go to 205 Live, bro. Somebody has to go.
Right.
Someone has to go. Like, they have to re-up that roster. I think losing Ali was a major blow for them, because he did add depth to that, and he was able to kind of go and intersperse himself into many storylines as far as heels go. But a lot of the people on that roster are getting stale, and they need to go. I think Jack Gallagher, he got to go somewhere. I think he needs to go to NXT UK. I think Brian Kendrick
go to Evolve or something.
I think Brian Kendrick needs to go too. I think they need to get a lot of these old guys out. Like,
but this at 205, you'll have a luxury of being called up. I don't think it's a certain definite. I think when they find that people have superseded the role of a cruiserweight and can do that, I think that's when they get called up. But I don't think it's necessarily they get called up because they've been on 205 Live too long. Like,
well, I mean, in that case, Johnny Gargano could do that.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Gargano 100% can do that. I think Mustafa Ali is someone that could do that. I think Cedric Alexander, another great guy. But I do think 205 Live needs Cedric Alexander as much as, like, they've, like, featured him in so many different opportunities over the last 2 years. They do need him. And Buddy Murphy as well. To me, if you're planning to take away Buddy Murphy and Cedric Alexander,
I don't think they are.
Then I would say, yeah, Gargano, but... I mean, I've called this for a while ago. I'm not terribly mad. I kind of get it. I'm the one who's been saying, like, what if they call him up to 205 Live? And everyone's like, you're wiling. Like, 205 Live, how would that work? He's so great. And I was just like, because he's, like, tiny and small. And
yeah, he's small, bro.
205 Live. No,
put him next to Drew McIntyre on Raw. And you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it.
I've been saying this for years, so...
Did this have the potential to steal the show? I think this has the potential to be very long and me lose interest in it in about 25 minutes.
Yeah, I'm pretty much. I mean, they would have to go super crazy bananas on this, which I think I think can definitely happen. But just the other matches on paper seem way more intriguing than this one.
Oh, I think it's intriguing because we've never seen it. I'll be fair. It's intriguing because we've never seen it. I think it's intriguing. I think what you mean is like the most intriguing part or the most least intriguing part is the fact that we know it's going to take a very long time. It's going to be a very long match.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, that is NXT Takeover New York. After the break, we'll be talking the big boy, WrestleMania 35 from MetLife. So we'll be right back on the A Show.
And the real breaking news is that when the Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey faces the new SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, and the man, Becky Lynch, all titles will be on the line. That's right, one woman will bring home all the gold on the grandest stage of them all. Because this Sunday at WrestleMania, 3 of the WWE's greatest athletes will step foot in that ring. They will put their bodies on the line and leave their hearts and souls on the mat. Because this Sunday at WrestleMania, it's winner takes all.
All right, and we're back on the A Show, WrestleMania prediction episode. Huge show. It's always, as it always is for us on these types of events. It's the most exciting show of the year, and we just went over NXT Takeover New York, and now it is time for WrestleMania 35 from MetLife Stadium. It's gonna be pretty cold this weekend, huh?
I'll be honest with you. I don't even know anymore. I know I'm not going to WrestleMania. I've known that for a long ass time. Just in life, I've said on this podcast, hey, I'm not going to go to WrestleMania, especially when those tickets end up being fugazi.
Shut up, Mark.
Yeah. Sunday, I mean, it won't be as bad as it could be. It's going to be a high of about close to 60 degrees, low of like 47 degrees. So that's not actually bad. I would wear, and this is why I feel like AccuWeather forecast guy. I would wear layers because smart people, I mean, to be honest with you, I feel like we have a predominantly black audience on this show, so I can say this confidently. Don't do no white people shit and don't wear not layers. They feel temperature a lot different than we feel temperature. I'm just going to keep it. I don't know the science behind it. I don't know the biology behind it. I just know black people and white people feel temperature when it gets cold completely differently. One could be brisk and one could be brick. That's kind of how it is. So for WrestleMania, I said just don't skip out on layers. You're going to be tight when it's like 10 p.m. and you're freezing your ass off in MetLife Stadium and you're in New Jersey. So,
be layered up.
Be layered up. Yeah, layered up. That's all I'll say. Listen, cop a lookout t-shirt, put some over that as well. And yeah, get yourself going. Like
now next year's Mania, Tampa. Can I just I'm already planning it, Meelz.
Are you?
Can we just put the bid in? Let's put the bid in.
I can't put a bid in unless I know, but I try to put in a bid in for this year. You know how close WrestleMania is to me? Right there. I try to put a bid in already. I couldn't get no damn bid. I can't put a bid in unless I know I'm going to this damn WrestleMania. This is embarrassing.
We're gonna go to Tampa.
This is embarrassing that I can't even go to WrestleMania in my own damn city.
We're gonna have RNC House in Tampa. We're gonna go to WrestleMania next year because I'm actually gonna help to get the tickets. I'm gonna be on the site. I'm gonna get the computer. I'm gonna have the computers puting, and
people gonna help this year. That's all I'm saying. I'm looking at resale on WrestleMania right now. Let's talk about it because I'm going on, a website that does not currently sponsor this podcast, but they should. So I won't actually say their names. Cheap Seats. space seats are going about in the $200 to $300 range. So you're up in the sky, you're up in space, you're there with God chilling.
Cold as shit because you're
cold as hell. Cold as hell. I'm sure that Undertaker pyro is going to hit you wild crazy up there, like they did at WrestleMania 24 when they almost killed all those people.
I was there. I saw it happen. I literally saw it happen. I was like, "Is that part of the show?"
when Charlotte's pyro goes off and you don't have anywhere to run, that's where it'll hit you. You'll get that for $200 to $300. Somewhere closer to the stage where maybe you can, if they do a shield entrance somewhere. In the lower levels, the 100 levels are going anywhere between it looks like $600 to $900. And the ground level, if you got a stack, you in there. Like if you got a clean stack, and that's with all the fees all included, maybe like a $1G to like $1,200, you get you on the floor. If you ever wanted to know a trick that I learned. And I learned this from someone who's actually a friend of the podcast that hopefully we'll get on one day. But I won't say their names because it's a very whoa, I didn't know you did that type of shit. Buy a very cheap floor seat ticket.
Okay.
Like floor seats for NXT Takeover Brooklyn last year. Like you'll be far back, but it was like $93.
Okay.
Then walk around and look for seats no one is sitting in on the floor level and sit in them. Hey, my man had great pictures. My man had I'll tell you who it was, as we end this off air, but my man had great pictures and I was so tight that I didn't do that. But,
Will that work at WrestleMania though?
At MetLife? It'll work at the Barclays for sure because all they hire is, one word I won't say on this podcast. MetLife is a little bit different. MetLife, I don't know how Jersey be, maybe I need to call up my Jersey peeps and see how, they handle things in MetLife. But at Barclays, oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
You're letting us know the seat hacks, man. Seat hacks, baby.
Seat hacks, baby. Come on. This is how it does this.
So
man.
Tampa for real, RNC House. Let's do it.
Sure.
I'm serious this time. Okay, I know I'm going to Vegas this weekend. It's my birthday. It's literally my birthday.
Of course, yes.
It's my birthday coming up.
Of course. I mean, we all knew what day of the year WrestleMania was, and you knew what day of the year your birthday was. I'm just saying.
But you tried to put me on the spot on two belts. So you were like, well, next thing you know, you turn around, you're talking about you going to Vegas. I was like, you know what? I felt as though Vegas was the move instead of going to cold-ass New York.
Well, I hope you miss Yolanda Adams at WrestleMania this year.
Come on, don't wish that on me. Don't wish that on me. I'm so freaked out because I'm trying to get the homies to come back from Vegas early so that I can catch Mania because it starts at 2 here.
Yeah. Listen,
and I'm not playing. I ain't playing no games with Mania this year, bro. At all.
I mean, they got Yolanda Adams this year, man. It's a spectacle. It's the sport of sports at this point. I mean, we are blessed to have Yolanda Adams at WrestleMania.
Going up to God. Shout out Titus O'Neil for getting his slide on the.
Whoa, okay. Yolanda Adams is a woman of God, and she is in very
The women of God be the freakiest ones. Bro.
Whoa, okay, all right. I'm sorry, Yolanda.
I'm gonna start. Let's start running through this card.
She's 57 years old. My God, man.
No.
She looks great. She looks great.
She does. She doesn't look like she's past 25. Honestly.
Yeah, she looks great.
No, on paper, is this a better looking card than last year? Is it how do you feel about the going into this WrestleMania? How do you feel about it?
Now let me look at last year because last year was also I feel like on some ish, but. I feel like
great first half of the last WrestleMania. Half, I don't know.
Oof, yeah, it really.
I think after Asuka lost, I was like, I don't know about this show no more, bro.
I mean, Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey and Triple H and Stephanie. That match is still good this day. I watched it 2 days ago. It's still good. I can't speak for anything else after that. But this match, it's very singles heavy.
Uh-huh.
If you like one-on-ones, you love this match. But also, I feel like we definitely need a few more different angles to sort of change it up a little bit. It looks like it could be any of the B pay-per-views.
Wow, are you serious?
Yeah, like, to be honest, like, if Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese happens at Extreme Rules, are you even like, oh, okay? If Shane McMahon and The Miz Fall Count Anywhere happens at Extreme Rules, Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio, Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre.
What makes this card feel like WrestleMania to you?
Triple H versus Batista.
Okay, but what could you swap out in these matches to make you feel like this was a WrestleMania card?
Okay. I feel like they need more. It's missing, and I asked this on the timeline over the weekend. I put up a picture. I was like, "Hey, WrestleMania card. What do you guys think?" Everyone was immediately like, first of all, they're missing a tag match. Everyone was like, "Hey, I feel like there should also be a ladder match on this card." Just because it looks kind of like plain. Everyone was noticing everyone who's missing on this card. And thus far as we're recording this, we still have no whereabouts of where KO or Andrade or, I think Mustafa Ali's in the Battle Royal, but
he's not.
Oh, we still have no whereabouts to where they are on the card.
Well, I think there's going to be a surprise. I think there's going to be matches on this card that are not announced.
I think they should change that U.S. Championship match. I think they should. Listen, that Fatal 4-Way that they worked 2 weeks in a row, beautiful. You add 2 more people to that match, even better. Like,
but even if that was the case, if this was a B show, this is a bomb-ass B show.
Oh, as a B show, it's fire. As WrestleMania, it's like, okay, all right. Well,
I think when you add the entrances and you add the new, because everyone gets an entire.
This could be whatever. This could literally be the same card at
Backlash,
or not even that, or like any of the Saudi Arabia shows. That's how this feels to me. This feels minus the results are going to be different. The results aren't like face happy, but this could be a
blood money show.
This could be it. This could be it. It's got all the elements to it. It's got the Brock Lesnar. It's got Triple H randomly wrestling on here. It's got Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. It's got championship matches. All the championships are here for the most part, except a couple.
I'm gonna let you deal with the slander for saying that.
I'm not gonna say anything. It's a little, I'm not saying it's a blood money card. Like, I'm not saying it's sponsored by the blood money. But I'm just saying it's a little, it's a little Jace.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just gonna say wow. I think the card's strong. I do agree that certain matches like Roman and Drew might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I and we'll get to that in a second. But I think Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio definitely is an outlier. And
it's good that Samoa Joe's on the card because he's been injured the past 2 minutes.
Yeah, he's missed too. I think get him on the card, but as a press time, there's a lot of people missing on this card. And again, I do think this will be a Mania that will have a lot of unannounced matches. Elias isn't on the card at all.
But Elias is doing his special show on the card,
which means that there's going to be something special that's going to happen when he comes out, which I think will lead to a match.
Or etc. He's got a thing on the card. He's on WrestleMania. Alexa Bliss also on WrestleMania, the host of WrestleMania. I don't know how I feel about that, but it is what it is.
She can't.
She looks great. She looks great.
Yeah, she looks good. I think there's going to be something, and I think that. Judging the card as it is right now without the bonuses, remember we had to add a John Cena Undertaker match last year that was a minute long, but it was still a surprise. I think they want to add more surprises. And if you're putting the guys that are not on the card right now into special positions, so be it. But I think everyone's going to get a check on Sunday night. Everyone's going to get a check on Sunday night. And I don't think we need to worry about people missing, so to speak. First up, the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Braun Strowman, Colin Jost, and Michael Shea of SNL have been the main storyline for this match going in, which means that I don't think Braun's going to win, or I think the two comedians are going to win. So, going to be very interesting. I don't think Braun should win. I think Braun is exactly where he should be with these comedy guys. If I had to pick someone to win, I don't think I care enough to do so, but maybe just looking at the people in it, Apollo Crews?
If you had to pick one person that you would like to see win this battle royal as a charity to them and their career, who would you pick? I think that's how we go about this. Just if one person is just someone who needs a win, who would you pick? Because there's no way I'm going to be predicting who wins this stupid battle royal, to be honest with you. Matt Hardy won last year, by the way. So I'm just letting you know, there's no way I'm going to be able to pick who wins this battle royal, nor do I feel like I should be wasting
Andrade's in, but he 100% should not win this. He will go nowhere. He will go nowhere if he wins this. EC3? I think one of the comedians or Braun might win, honestly.
Let's see. I think let's get. If KO's, put KO somewhere else.
Ali's not in it either. Usos aren't in it.
Usos aren't in it.
Big E and Xavier aren't in it either.
Yeah.
Revival aren't in it. Aleister Black and Ricochet aren't in it. Something's up with those 8 guys. Something's up with them.
They fooling. Shit. It looks like Job City in this thing. Yeah, might as well just give it a Apollo Crews. Give it Apollo Crews. Why not?
Apollo Crews, yeah, why not? He deserves it, I guess, right?
Yeah, give it Apollo Crews. Yeah, let's do that. Apollo Crews.
All right, Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews it is. That was easy. Now, the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal was just announced last week, at the end of the week. We already know that Asuka will be in it, along with pretty much everyone from SmackDown.
Yes, everyone else. That's and everyone else. It's literally an ampersand of battle royals of just and Asuka and everyone else. But yes, go ahead.
I think obviously there is a major story here to be told and said. Obviously, Asuka lost the title last week. I think there is a major story with her going into this match. I do believe there will be some sort of redemption for her here, because just based on how people reacted to her losing last week, I don't think that it is a mistake that they had all of the women's roster say she deserved better, including Becky and including Charlotte thanking her and stuff like that. I do think this will be an attempt to make her strong again. I'm not even looking at who else is on this. I'm just going to say she's going to win.
Yeah, I'm just going to say she's going to win.
I don't see anyone else. If Lacey Evans, that might be my sleeper pick if she is in the match to start an Asuka feud later on down the line or right after Mania. But I honestly don't see anyone else but Asuka winning this. I think this is the redemption angle. I think this is they're going to heat her back up here.
Is there anyone else you could see that they put in this? Anyone from NXT? Let's do that. Let's fun NXT prediction.
EO, no Shayna. I think Shayna gets a bigger introduction in this. No, EO, Marina, Jessamine. I think Casey will come back. Possibly Candice LeRae will probably come back as well. And Bianca.
Give me Mako Satomura.
She's definitely not going to be.
Just show up.
She's definitely not. She's not doing it, bro. She's not going to be there. I do think she will be in the crowd at TakeOver, though. If we didn't even get to that, I think that Kushida and Mako will be in the crowd.
Give it a Mako. Give it a Mako. That's all I'm saying.
All right, give it a Mako.
I'm gonna pick either Asuka or Ruby Riott.
Ruby Riott.
Ruby Riott.
All right.
This could be the beginning of something for Ruby Riott.
Sure. All right.
Hey, I won the Battle Royal. I don't need you goons anymore.
Hashtag justice for Asuka, and I think that's what we're getting here.
I agree.
All right. Next match: Tony Nese versus Buddy Murphy for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Tony Nese, as you already know, I'm a huge fan. It's a different vibe when it's Tony Nese. He's undefeated, undefeatable.
Is it really?
He's undefeatable in 2K19 unless there's a bunch of chicanery involved. It's a different vibe. Is
it really a vibe with Tony Nese?
Yes, it's a vibe. You have to play 2K19 to know. Okay,
well, all right. Exclusively in 2K19, a vibe, Tony Nese.
Tony Nese has been working his ass off for the better part of this year. He's had a lot of really great matches against Cedric Alexander and a lot of people on 205 Live this year. I think that it's well deserved for him to get this opportunity. Buddy Murphy has literally beat everyone on 205 Live. I think that
I feel like every cruiserweight champion proceeds to beat everybody on their roster
at least twice, right? Like
at least twice. Enzo was like 1.5. Enzo was like killing them for like a hot minute before he Enzo'd himself. But yes,
I think that in this match, not much to go on here. I really do think that it will be a pre-show match. At press time, we have had it confirmed when we recorded this, but I do think it will be one of the matches.
Big pre-show energy. Yes.
Yeah, big pre-show energy here. I think they're going to
main event the pre-show, main event the kickoff show. The main event of the kickoff show will be Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. Oh, sorry, I'm using my Renee voice, coach voice. I got to find my coach voice now.
Please don't have a coach voice.
Yeah, I won't. It's too. You know who I think would have a great coach voice? Mark.
Ooh. Oh yeah, Mark Mark got all the voices.
Okay, all right. Well,
Mark got all the voices. I think they get 12 to 15 minutes. As we said in the takeover section, the 205 roster is being revamped and remodeled, so to speak. It's been a slow process since
Humberto Carrillo over here.
Humberto was part of it. Ali leaving was part of it. Oni Lorcan coming in 2 weeks ago
Oni Lorcan's my man. That's the jam now. If anyone should be in this match, it's Oni Lorcan.
Well, you're going to get to that, but I think that Buddy has to down the last, the remnant of the old 205 Live. I do think Buddy will win here, and I think he will go on to potentially Kushida or possibly Johnny Gargano.
I feel like he's earned Kushida or Johnny Gargano. But yes, I do think Buddy Murphy will win, to be honest with you, yes. I don't think this is Nese country currently. Where's Tony Nese from? Huh.
Tony Nese is from Long Island.
Huh.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a hometown type of deal.
Hometown, yeah, it's hometown.
Look at that. Anyway, I think Buddy Murphy's going to win anyway. And that's just what it is, man.
Yeah, that is what it is. I think Buddy Murphy's had a spectacular run on 205 Live, not just with the championship, just in general. And just beat the last remnant of the old 205 Live. I think Tony Nese is yet another straggler there. Also 205 Live lifer, but I think that
for life, baby.
But if beating him opens up the opportunity for other people to get opportunity at this point. Next up, this one has a lot of emotional connection to you, Meelz. Shane McMahon versus the Miz. I was about to say the Meelz. The Miz Falls Count Anywhere match. This match was built up last month when Shane McMahon turned on the Miz after their tag team match against the Usos. Since then, we've gotten promos from both men. I thought a spectacular promo from the Miz. Not so much from Shane on the two exchanges that they've had. But all in all, a match that I'm very excited for. I think in Mania, Shane always brings it in some way, shape, or form. And the Falls Count Anywhere match does cover up his weaknesses and kind of strengthens a lot of Miz's strengths. As far as being a face, him not being able to do heel stuff anymore, but more or less shining with like the top rope and jumpy, flippy shit he's been doing lately, which is kind of weird for a man almost in his 40s to be doing. But I think the Falls Count Anywhere stipulation does accentuate both guys and their strengths here.
I think it'll be a fine match. I think it's going to be. It depends how creative they get and how creative the energy is. I think just going around MetLife Stadium is incredible. If this is a match, hopefully it doesn't end in the ring because I would be tight. But
I think it not ending the match points to Shane winning.
I think so. Here's the thing: Falls Count Anywhere matches at WrestleMania. If it doesn't end anywhere close to the ring, people won't be able to see it.
Right.
Because the last thing you want are people just staring at the screen at WrestleMania for a long, prolonged period of time. This isn't something where they go backstage and it's just chills backstage and people are just on their seats and on their hands watching WrestleMania.
Unless it's like the Gold Dust Roddy Piper match that just goes on throughout the whole night.
That would be fire.
That'd be dope. It would play into kind of like the blood feud angle that they have, and it could end in a segment because this is going to be a long show, and I don't think anyone would mind if the match didn't end immediately. You know, like it would end later on in the show, and it would give a lot of credence to there being my theory that there's going to be a lot of surprises on the show.
I think it'll be a good match. Who do I think will win this match? The Miz.
I think Shane is pretty much comfortable in his lose all of his Mania matches trope, and I think The Miz deserves this win for his dad, at least.
Yeah, I think so.
So The Miz will win. Do you think this opens the show?
No.
No.
I don't think this opens the show.
Okay, we'll wait to see what you think opens the show. I think, well, could this open the show? Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio for the WWE United States Championship.
No, I don't think this will open the show either.
Wow. Okay. This match has been built pretty much on the fact that Rey Mysterio pinned Samoa Joe on SmackDown. They haven't had many. Had many interactions. They've been showing off Rey's son Dominic for a while. I don't know if they go into it with Joe fucking with Dominic or if Dominic will escort.
It should have happened by now if it was going to happen. Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I think he's going to play into this match in some way, shape, or form. Either he walks out and is in his corner and Joe messing with him or attacking him leads to Rey losing. But
I think Rey is losing for sure.
Yeah, I think all in all, not where I would have slotted Rey at Mania this year. I think a lot of people wanted the Andrade match or some type of match with Andrade involved. A storyline that I it's not over as far as I know. Like that's not a feud that's ever ended. They haven't they haven't had the definitive match between the two yet. Maybe Andrade does play a part. Who knows? But I do think it will be a solid match. I don't think Rey hasn't had a stinker since he returned, in my opinion. But and this is before we've seen the Kurt Angle match this week. But I do think that in the end, this is going to be a pretty solid match, and I think Samoa Joe will win, and he deserves to win.
Yeah, I think Samoa Joe will win. This is a pretty by the books ass match. If it gets something crazy like Dominic gets choked out, I'm for it a little bit. But
gets choked out in his off-white.
Yeah, something like that, right? WrestleMania, he's gonna be wearing something hype beastie. Oh my God, he's probably gonna be in Kith all weekend.
Wow.
Gosh, where else would he be? We're gonna have to ask our friend Ugly New York when he heads to his Stadium Goods and just be like, hey, listen.
Well, imagine doing a sneaker shopping with Rey Mysterio. That'd be fun. That'd be tight.
That would be tight. Listen, we're giving too much ideas over here.
I know, man.
Yo, no.
I know Complex listens to this shit, man.
Yeah, of course. Oh, my God. Listen.
Next up, and I know you're about to troll me. And I fucking hate you because as soon as I name this, you're going to say it. Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor for the WWE Intercontinental Championship.
It is opening the show.
I know. I fucking knew it. I knew you were going to troll me with this shit.
It is opening the show, baby.
This match is not opening the show.
It's opening the show. It's just opening it's got that opener feel to it, you know? Yeah. It's just got a feel of just like, let's start it off right.
Let's
get it going.
Fuck you, bro.
Finn Balor, no stranger to opening up WrestleMania.
He's only done it once.
No stranger to opening up WrestleMania. And maybe Bobby Lashley too. I don't know. But
no, he is a stranger to it. I think if we're getting the Demon, it's not opening the show.
If we get the Demon,
it's not opening the show. If he gets the Demon, it's going to be it's going to be in the middle of the show. I absolutely 100% believe we are getting the Demon. And as I've been saying for the past week and a half, if he comes out in the Demon paint and he wins in less than a minute, I'm giving this match 7 stars.
7-star away then, because that's exactly what I think is going to happen on the opening of this show.
No, stop it. Stop, bro. If it opens with 7 stars, then the rest of the show is about to be a 5 stars, 6 stars.
Real, but yeah.
Wow. Whoa. Chill out, yo, Meelz.
First of all, we about to get a couple matches down the line that I do not look that promising, to be honest with you.
I think with the WrestleMania bells and whistles, so to speak, I think these matches would be fine. But I think we both think Finn Balor wins here. We've known this for weeks that Finn Balor needs to pin Bobby, not Leo, to get the belt back. I do foresee a prolonged run for him. And the 2-time Intercontinental Champion doesn't sound too bad for Finn Balor there. So Finn Balor does win that. Next up, Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre, a storyline that has been kind of predicated on the belief and the fact that Roman may or may not be ready to return to the ring. Drew McIntyre has gotten the best of him many, many times, including about 4 weeks ago when he beat the hell out of Roman Reigns, and they did kind of like a concussion angle. Roman has said in articles in the past couple of weeks that, you know, he is still recovering. He is still going through recovery. He's extremely glad he's able to be on the show, which makes me think that this match will not go on that long, because, I mean, even with the Shield match, he was not out doing much for that long either. Yeah. I think they did a really great job of booking that match and protecting him while still having Seth and Dean do most of the dirty work and just having him play the hits, which is really what we want to see. I think we're going to see more of the same here. I would not like for there to be a 5-minute rest hold section for Roman Reigns with Drew here. I think you get in, you get out, have Roman do the Superman punch, the spear, and win this match and send the fans home happy. We don't need to have much more than that. I don't see this going longer than 8 minutes. No, I don't see it going long either. It'd probably be a hindrance to the card because I do think these guys can go. But yes, I don't see this match going long. And they probably will go at a much later date. Maybe they'll go on a Raw or the next pay-per-view, whatever Blood Money pay-per-view this is. I say don't rush Roman back. I already see here that I mean, you know, he's not doing a lot of the house shows. Not doing a lot of traveling with them, obviously, because he is still in recovery. Don't rush it back. Don't rush it back. Have him be a marquee act. Don't put him on B pay-per-views. Have him show up to things that are important and special, and I think that strengthens him for when he does come back on a full-time basis. I'm just glad to see the guy on the show altogether. Like where we were in October to where we are now, it's a fucking blessing for him, and I'm really happy for him that he does at least get to participate in WrestleMania this year. And great spot for Drew McIntyre as well. Yeah, great spot, especially coming a year after him debuting the night after WrestleMania. He's still in the picture. He's someone who hasn't really been injured, hasn't really been off TV, has managed to keep a consistent presence since then. So it's really good. It's a great, this comeback for Drew McIntyre is looking incredibly successful, and who knows where it could lead. And I'm thinking it's the Universal Championship, quite honestly. But yes, it's great for Drew. Next up, a match that no one's looking forward to. The stinker of the bunch. Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. Here's my thing. Obviously, the storyline has started with Kurt Angle announcing his retirement tour, and on the way to his retirement, he has had several bad matches with really good people. That is not spelling out good for Baron Corbin, who tries, and it's not even that great. Yeah, and I think Baron Corbin gets a lot more shit than is necessary for him. I think he plays his role well. I think him still wearing suits is the biggest. Like I pop when I think about the fact that he still wears suits to wrestle. What a loser! A lot of people are not happy with this match, and I understand, which makes me think there is a swerve incoming with this. I don't think we're gonna get a full match here. I don't know if Cena's gonna be part of it. There's been rumors and reports that he has agreed to do a match at WrestleMania at press time when we recorded this. We do not know what it is, and I don't think they will reveal it until the day of or during the show, as they did last year. I do believe there's a swerve. I just don't know what it is. I think Kurt Angle will win this match, and they will send him out happy. It's hard for me to predict this match because I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, you're right. I don't think it's going to happen. I'll just say Kurt Angle tentatively, and depending on who it is and who really it will be, I'll make my decision based on that. Now, it could be fucking Edge coming out to do one more spear, and I have no clue. I don't know who it's going to be, but yeah, Kurt Angle, Baron Corbin will definitely be happening. I mean, like, I guess spitballing here. Who do you like other than John Cena? Who could it be? Do you think? There's not many options. As far probably be John Cena. Yeah, or Taker, Bad Bunny. How he's selling all these things over the Instagram now. Did you see him? Yeah, I saw it, man. He's again. I don't got no words for him, bro. I agree. I don't got no words for him. Next match. Oh boy, the Boston Hug Connection versus Nia Jax and Tamina versus Beth Phoenix and Natalya versus the Iconics. How much heavy lifting do Sasha and Bayley have to do in this match to make it even watchable?
Is that a Nia joke or like I don't get it?
Shit, they're gonna have the match on their back. That's the joke.
Well, okay.
Your brain's about to break.
It's just not. It's
not the match that I saw them being in, obviously.
Nah, this is the match where you think it's like, okay, we got to get everyone on the card.
Can I be 100?
Sure.
Why Beth? Not that I'm like not a fan of hers. I think she's tremendous. I think she's great. But of all the part timers or retired people coming out of retirement to do these things, why her? I don't get the reasoning.
Who else would you?
Not her at all. Like not even any of this happening.
We don't need.
No.
Bring back Eva Marie.
Lita and Trish could have been a thing.
Lita and or Trish. Trish is like, okay, my back hurts. Like, relax. Like, and I'm sure Lita doesn't want to be continued pimped out for like three shows every year of like, oh, we're doing this.
Well, fuck that. How about not doing the silliness with Beth and Natalya at all and just replacing them with someone else?
So I don't think it's silliness, but I do think they're both competent in the ring, and I think this is more so like we need a former person who can come back, who hasn't really come back, and make this match a bit of an attraction, because even if it was just Boston Hug versus Nia and Tamina versus Iconics, it's still PU. Beth and Natalya add a factor of just like, okay, you have people to root for, and Natalya's, family's going into Hall of Fame this weekend. Beth Phoenix, also a Hall of Famer. You kind of get that sort of deal with it. Beth Phoenix, someone who's been advocating for women's tag team championships for a long time, finally getting the opportunity. Also, did you hear the Bellas who retired, 7, 8, 9 days ago, now on their podcast saying we'd come out of retirement if we got a shot at the belt? So I was like, okay. All right.
All right, we good.
Yeah, you're good. Like, we're good on that. It could have been the Bellas. Who knows? I'm fine with it. This is match. I have no...
Boston
They're going to have to work pretty hard in this match.
Boston Hug are coming out on top. I see them having a long, if not multiple, reign with the tag titles. As you've been saying,
if they didn't retain, which other team would you pick?
I guess. I mean, it's Mania, so I don't know why we're like picking all these picks like so. Like we picked the Roman Reigns Drew thing, and in my heart of hearts, I really do think Drew will win. I'm just picking Roman because it would feel good, and that's who I want to win. But like honestly, it's Mania. We're gonna get some really weird finishes to these matches.
So you think the Iconics might walk out with the belts?
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, I could see it.
Honestly, yeah. Or if they really want to get wild and fucking crazy, Beth Phoenix and Natalya.
I could see that as well.
Just to give them to give Beth like one more pay-per-view, and then Boston Hug can get it back. They'll get it right back. I just think that if you want to big up and kind of expand the range of the fact that these belts are going to be defended everywhere, I would put it on a team from SmackDown just to prove that it's going to be everywhere, Also, you have the opportunity to, there's a shakeup coming up. The women's roster is going to change after WrestleMania, especially with Ronda, who has been the centerpiece of it for the last year, seemingly on a part-time basis. You might need some more auxiliary hands on deck, and you might want to give it to the Iconics because you might need Sasha and Bayley in different roles, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's as good as they are as a tag team, you might need one on SmackDown or one on Raw to kind of hold up the fort, as we're going to get a drop-off in terms of it's going to be either Charlotte wins or Becky wins, and then it's going to be who challenges them from there. Right. So the Iconics are probably the only true tag team in this match. Well, Boston Hug are too. Boston Hug are pretty strong. You mean if they got matching gear? Yeah. Okay. Where the Iconics have nothing else to contribute as singles competitors if anything happens going on. So we can see. Next up, and we talked about this at length on our Triple H versus Batista feud episode of the A Show. It's Triple H versus Batista, no holds barred. If Triple H loses, his career is over. Not much more to add here other than I think I asked on notes, will this be 40 minutes? If so, why?
I mean, if it's 40 minutes, it's because it's got all the bells and whistles. I feel like Ric Flair and Randy Orton's going to come out, and then DX is going to come out, and it's going to be DX versus Evolution. And, you know, if that's the reason why it's 40 minutes, it's because of that. If it's 40 minutes, it's because of the entrances, too. Because Triple H about to go stupid bananas.
I have to echo my sentiment on the show as well. I think Triple H will go over. I think Batista would love to go out the way that everyone else goes out on his back. But if Triple H really is done and there's really no one else that he would like to face on this roster coming up, I don't even know if there's anyone that he can hang with the way that the call-ups are going now. Then yeah, I think they probably do Batista if that's how Triple H feels. But I don't know if he's ready to hang it up yet.
Triple H's career is on the line. So if that's not enough of a telegraph for Triple H, then... But then again, this is wrestling. Everyone's career is on the line until it's no longer
until
on
it's
the line.
not. Yeah, I mean, Shawn Michaels came out of retirement last year.
This is true. I'm still going with Triple H.
Yeah, I'll still go with Triple H. Yeah, I mean, but then again, this is screwy WrestleMania with screwy booking. It could go either way, but I'll go with Triple H here. Next up...
Unless, like, Batista's getting a title match at SummerSlam or something.
Well, he said this is his last match.
He said that's what he said. That's what he said.
And I doubt he'd have the time to do that, to do another pay-per-view next month because Endgame comes out at the end of the month.
Okay.
He's got to do press for that. And I'm pretty sure he's probably going to hop right on the plane after this match and go start working on that shit too. Next up, AJ Styles versus Randy Orton, a match that I literally forgot was on the sheet. I had to put that down because as soon as I thought about it, I was like, oh shit, AJ Styles is on this card. That match might open the show. This match might open the show.
I wouldn't put it on the open of the show. I don't think people are that enamored with Randy Orton and AJ Styles.
AJ's done it. AJ's opened the show.
AJ's opened the show, but I don't know if people are enamored with Randy Orton where they want him opening the show. Like when you get in a Randy Orton type of match to kick off the show, you want something with energy. Randy Orton is not providing energy in 2019.
How about this? The reason I thought about this match just now is because you said Evolution, and I said, holy shit, Randy Orton is on this card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you, if he was going to be involved in this match, like, as you know, let's just say we're fantasy booking here. If he's going to be involved in this match, wouldn't you want him to go on first so that later on he could play a big part in this no holds barred match, which to me is already redundant because there's a Shane McMahon Miz match that is falls count anywhere anyway.
That's just Triple H trying to get the best of Shane McMahon. I feel like they're don't really fuck each other. Like,
this is true.
Count anywhere, huh? You fucking bitch. But I still think this match could end up being like third or something. Like it's not to me, I wouldn't open the show with this match because it's not a powerful opener to me. Like to this, it doesn't even seem like that great. It seems like obviously a match that they just kind of like shoved in on the show. It doesn't even seem,
it was one of the first three matches that was announced.
Yeah, but in terms of that, it's like one of the matches that like doesn't have to be on WrestleMania, but they obviously want a spot for AJ Styles and they need a spot for Randy. So here we are with this match. But in terms of people, there are other people who you'd rather see on this card than this, you know? So,
as far as the match, I think
it'll be fine. Yeah, I'm sure. I think they've done it before on house show loops for like the past couple of years now. Like,
I think it'll be really good. I think if Randy's motivated, we will have, obviously this is the Randy Orton story. If he's motivated, we're gonna have a great match.
Phenomenal forearm into the RKO.
I do think Randy's gonna win.
I think Randy's gonna win too.
Yeah, I think he's gonna win. And now to do the final three matches on this card. He's been like quiet this whole time. We've got a guest on the show from Random Acts of Podcast Gaming. We got Ampaveli, man. What's up, Amp?
Hey, man, what's good, man? I'm back on A Show, man. It's been a long ass time, so I'm happy to be here.
Very long time, brother.
Are you?
Go ahead.
No. I wanted to know what was your decision this year. You're a guy who likes to go to WrestleMania. Why not this year? Why are you? Do you have displaced hate for New York City or something?
Oh, nah, I like New York, man. You know, man. Last time I was in New York, man, I kicked it with you and Carlos. But I like New York. It's just like the people from New York kind of like made me not want to go because all of them was complaining about that commute the last time they had it in Jersey. And I've seen a lot of people say some of the stuff about the weather, like it was too cold and whatnot. So that kind of made me stray away from spending that. Because you gotta think, man, it's pretty expensive for like me to come out there.
Right.
It's gonna be like almost $500, $600. And I'm like, I could have spent that on something else.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
I felt the same way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all right, okay, sure.
Obviously, I hate New York, but
listen, there's a lot of people in New York who also hate Justin, so that could also be a.
They ain't gonna touch me.
I heard Justin next time he in New York gonna get that nose wiped.
It's gonna be like the mystery of who ran over Stone Cold, and it's just gonna be Justin knocked out in the middle in front of the Barclays Center. Is like, yo, who did it? It's a regular who done it.
So earlier in the show, I talked about Tampa WrestleMania next year, RNC House. Amp, are you down? Are you? What's up?
Hey man, that's big cap. That's big. The cap on the cap.
Y'all don't think they're not pulling up?
It's big cap, man. You say you're gonna pull up every year, man. You don't ever pull up, man. It's big cap. Big blue cap.
I'm going to WrestleMania next year. RNC House, man. What's up?
All right.
I'm down, bro. Like Tampa's only like a 2.5 hour drive for me, so I'm down.
Like my plan, I told Mark the same thing. I was like, let's just start thinking about where we want to stay. Let's get like a little pool where we put money into it, and then
Mark.
We get the Airbnb. We get that move going. Cyrus acting like he don't want to go. Cyrus talking about I don't want to hang out with you guys. I'm like, that's okay. We don't want to hang out with you anyway.
Oh wow.
But we just need some real ones in the RNC house, bro.
I'm down, bro. If it happened, if it like legit happened, I'm down.
Tampa, bro, what's up?
All right. I mean, yes, Tampa. Tampa is a city. Yes.
What's the female situation in Tampa?
Wow, they got some quality strumpets out there.
I'm trying to, we need to invite Kathy Kelly over. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, shout out to my co-host from Random Acts of Podcast, Devin. He's known for driving down there and hanging out with the Tampa women.
Oh,
we talk about it all the time on the podcast. They got some quality joints out there, as you guys would see.
All right, so let's go into the final 3 matches on this card. These are huge matches. The first one, and this is what I call the moment of truth. I think that everyone has been waiting for this match. Everyone's had so much drama, so much feelings and emotions about this match. He's got to win. He can't win. If he doesn't win, the racist. Let's talk about it right now. Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Will Kofi Kingston win the WWE title? Amp, I'm going to throw this one to you. What do you think?
All right, so this is this whole build up for this match has been kind of interesting with the whole wrestling Twitter calling Vince McMahon racist for like 2 months now, and it's kind of weird because it's like, have y'all like not ever watched the WrestleMania build up? It usually takes months, and it's a lot of emotions throughout the whole build up, especially like when Daniel Bryan, his build up was from like September to like up to WrestleMania, so. This stuff takes time, but like as far as the match goes, I'm thinking Daniel Bryan's gonna win it.
I feel the same way too. My thing about Kofi is that, listen, I will be really happy if he won. I think a lot of people get that misconstrued that people won't be happy if he doesn't win. I just don't see Kofi as face of the show. I see I see Big E as face of the show. I see Ricochet as face of the show. I see people like, even that they're not even here yet, like Montez Ford could be the face of a show. Like I
disagree with that, but
Montez Ford could be the face of a show. Like, here's the thing: no one thought Kofi was the face could be in this position until he was there.
Right, but all right. So Riddle me this question then. Why Big E and not Kofi in this position? Why would you say Big E has more to offer in that sort of position than Kofi Kingston?
Because I think as far as the matches that he's had, singles, even when he was just a singles, I think that Big E has a bigger upside. I think with Kofi, he's very much, as I said before, he's a system wrestler. Like, he's worked in that WWE style for a very long time, to the point where, like, how many memorable Kofi Kingston matches besides the past 2 months have there been?
I mean, you can't say even the same for Big E either.
Yes, you could. I could say his matches against Rusev, his match against Daniel Bryan.
But you won't say his matches against Rusev nor his matches against Daniel Bryan. Kofi Kingston has a collection of actual work.
Well, how come WWE Network doesn't have a collection of them?
And he's much as they don't really have one for Big E either. I hate to break it to you.
Well, here's my thing. I don't think he's that great of a wrestler. That's just it.
No, but who I don't see how you can say that. I don't say how you can say that, especially over the. I don't see how you can say that, especially over the other two people that you named, because Kofi's
a cookie cutter wrestler.
Bruh.
I don't know, man. He's WWE style all around.
Oh, as much as it's the same as those other two who were produced solely in the system. No, not Ricochet. Sorry, Montez Ford and Big E. It's produced solely in the system. And yes, I do agree. Ricochet definitely has a bigger upside than Kofi Kingston. I'm not going to disagree with that, but Kofi Kingston is friggin' incredible, bro. Like, I feel like he's very underrated. And I feel like this feud, and especially the last couple of months, have shown that, and especially the way people got behind him. People wouldn't get behind him in the way they got behind him if he was.
You could put anyone in that position and they would have got behind them. That's literally how this booking works. They would have been Mustafa Ali. And we would have been feeling the same. It's the same booking Daniel Bryan got. Anyone could get this booking and you'd be behind them, because it is the typical McMahon's against the protagonist. Protagonist tries to fight to get their match in WrestleMania. Everyone would have been behind this. I think Kofi is of course we love him. He's been there for a decade, but he is literally a slotted in player, and anyone could have been in this position. Because you know who it was supposed to be. It was clear who it was supposed to be before him. Who did he replace? I think at the end of the day, it's exactly. It's like it would have been Ali in this position, or it would have been anyone else. It could have been Kevin Owens in this position. I don't
think Kevin Owens would have got over the same way.
Oh, he's over. He's over anyway.
I don't think the people would have been behind Ali the same way they behind Kofi. If Ali was in that position, it probably would have lasted maybe that match.
And
it would have been no Ali Mania.
And there's 11 years worth of story behind this entire Kofi thing. And there's an 11 years worth of an invest from the fan and just being known face. Yeah. He's like legitimately, as of right now, I mean, besides probably AJ Styles, probably the second biggest face on SmackDown.
Last year people was like rallying for Kofi to get the title.
I feel like people definitely do get behind Kofi, and I don't think he's underrated in the ring, and I'm pretty sure you can ask any of his opponents whether he's underrated, because the man provides effort, and he doesn't have the style
our definition of that is different from people who work with him and have to be protected by him. That's a way different conversation.
Yeah.
Like asking Randy Orton and asking me that is two different experiences.
But to say that he's a cookie cutter wrestler, to me, it understates the value that Kofi Kingston is in the ring, and the amount of people that he's put over and the amount of people that he's wrestled over the last number of years. 11 years, bro. You really gonna say he a cookie cutter wrestler?
Yes.
Like Kofi Kingston isn't a cookie cutter wrestler.
That's not a bad term, though.
Yeah,
it is a bad term.
He gets the job done.
It's not a bad term, like compared to like the new guys now. Like, he keeps it pretty simple with his matches.
It's pretty basic.
Even in the Elimination Chamber, he was doing some stuff I'd never seen him do before. I admit he did really good in that match.
But here's the thing. Also, look at who he's working with at Mania. the best wrestler in the world.
But you're saying it like he's not
the wrestler
like
of the
really
decade.
Good as well.
Meelz, the wrestler
You're saying,
of the decade.
saying like Daniel Bryan is going to legitimately carry Kofi Kingston through this match. Kofi Kingston's a capable superstar.
All of his matches, he's come from behind. He's come from under. That's literally all he can do.
But what do you? He's a face. He's been a face for the last 15 years. What do you want him to do?
Wrestler of the decade, Daniel
He's
Bryan.
He's been a face for the last almost 11 years.
Here's my question.
Bro. What do you want him to do? He's a face, bro.
Here's my question.
Sure.
If he wins this match, what's the program after? Because my thing is, if he wins it, I don't see any programs for him unless the New Day turns on him. There is no investment in a program for him past this match. For Daniel Bryan, he has plenty of faces he can face. Kofi Kingston, very few heels that he can face convincingly, and actually it makes sense. I think the only way this works is if the New Day are actually going to break up.
So I could see that happening in the future, but then again, there is a shakeup immediately after WrestleMania. Are you aware of that? There's a shakeup after WrestleMania that changes the roster and may change a lot, may change allegiances, may change people that are on the roster, may change. It's not going to be the same roster that it is before. Kofi Kingston winning could provide him another opportunity, and it even could provide him another opportunity against Daniel Bryan, bro.
How long you think this is going to last?
What do you mean?
Because I remember when Homicide and ROH won the belt from Takeshi Morishima, and ironically from Bryan Danielson at the time. And I remember being happy, and I remember it being a moment. And then in like a month and a half, he pretty much got squashed in about 9 minutes to Morishima, and it was over because it was the moment that mattered, not exactly the title reign, because it mattered more that he chased it. The journey mattered more than the actual moment in that sense. And this is what I feel.
One could say the moment in this will supersede, in terms of his career, will supersede the title reign.
It's true.
But that's okay. But that's okay, though.
It's gonna be. Well, here's the thing.
But that's okay. It legitimately happened at Daniel Bryan as well. At WrestleMania 30, he won the championship, barely got to defend it, and then due to circumstance, he had to lose it. But the moment is what you remember from WrestleMania 30.
For you and Amp, will you guys be upset if he loses? Will all of this be for nothing, so to speak? Will you feel like all this is for nothing?
Will I be upset if he loses? Probably. Because I do like Kofi Kingston. Yeah, I probably will be upset if he loses. I'm not gonna die over it or claim, like, run around and say like WWE's racist or anything. But I will be disappointed. 100%. Black wrestling Twitter is going to definitely. And then I don't know, but maybe. But I feel like there's definitely an investment in it, and there's definitely people who want to see him become champion. Whether it is, there's at some point you kind of take the entire, like, okay, what's best for business truly, and then sometimes you're in the business of, let's make this moment and then let's worry about it afterwards. We're arguing about this like they didn't make Jinder Mahal champion 2 years ago, and we just had to figure it out all after the fact.
They didn't really figure anything. They
literally had a 3-month feud with Randy, a 3-month feud with Shinsuke, and then a 2-month feud with AJ, and then it was over. And they act like they can't really figure it out all after the fact. Like, let's give it a chance at least. That's what in terms of who do I think is going to win this match? I'll say I think Kofi Kingston is going to win this match. I think the moment is too good to pass up. I don't think you're going to be able to replicate this moment by any other main event match here. I don't even think the Becky thing will replicate this moment, because I do think Becky, by winning the championship a number of months ago already, you kind of lose the luster of her, like, winning it.
But she would win, and we'll talk about this in a second, but she would win, she would win both titles, so that would supersede that.
Right, but I don't know if there's excitement from the people. I think people generally believe that Becky Lynch will win, or people are just like, I think Becky's going to probably win.
I don't think.
But
would you be upset?
I think this moment will supersedes the actual thing. Like, this will be the biggest moment on the card.
Moment or a title?
Moment. So here's the thing: if he does win it, like, here's the thing: I don't think he's gonna win, but I really, really hope he wins. But if you do put the title on Kofi, you can do a couple things. You can, like, possibly break up the New Day, because you can put the title on Kofi, and then you can go, like, with maybe like a New Day split, maybe like Big E turns on Kofi. You could do that all summer leading up to SummerSlam. That's a feud right there.
With the title?
Yeah. With or without the title. You can do it both, with or without.
Boy,
you could have Big E cost Kofi. You could have Big E cost Kofi the title, and they could just feud have Xavier in the middle. Probably do a triple threat match. You can. That don't even need the title right there.
I honestly think the bigger moment is that the New Day breaks up. To be honest,
it'll be a major moment. It'll be a major moment, but the bigger moment than winning the WWE Championship.
It's time for Big E to go out on his own. It's time for Big E to go out on his own. I'm with Big E, and because the thing about it is, they said they were going to help Kofi get the title. They didn't say they were going to help him keep it or get it.
I mean, I feel like in general, it's just been a general pattern in professional wrestling that teams eventually break up or turn on each other in a certain way. But I think we're not acknowledging that New Day has really been a different type of, unit. One that isn't really fueled by their own personal things, and they're more fueled by the success of the group rather than the unit. I'm not sure how this will happen. If it does happen, I'm pretty sure New Day will have a say in it. But I don't think it will happen in a sort of destructive way that we're all thinking. But
Famous last words.
my pick is still Kofi Kingston.
All right, so I say Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, they gotta, especially the way they do the little brand splits now. How the whole group has to go to the one brand. They got to do it in a destructive way, pretty much to break up the group. I don't see them just going their separate ways. They got to be destructive. Unless they switch the brand split, maybe they do the shake up saying and send Xavier to Raw. But the way they do it is they send the whole group to a
they send the whole
brand.
Group.
So
it has to.
It got to end in a bad. Yeah, it had to end in a bad way.
And I think isn't the split happening the week after Mania, right?
Yeah, it's still literally the week after the Raw after Mania.
Yeah, it could literally happen at that point. I would, in my heart of hearts, if he does win it, they should do the turn. If this happens, we're clearly fantasy booking far beyond this show. But if it does happen, I do it on the Tuesday before to break them up. Honestly, but anyway, so that was our choices for that. The next matchup, Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Universal Championship. This match is, of course, coming off of Seth Rollins' big win in the main event of Royal Rumble 2019. He won the Royal Rumble. There's been a lot of kind of strange things happening. Seth did get injured right after that match. And Brock, of course, is Brock. He hasn't been on every single show. But anytime they have linked up, it has been physical. They have shown physicality. So we've at least seen these guys actually hitting or going at each other. On Raw this week, Seth got the upper hand on Brock, hit him in the balls, which is his number one weakness, as we all know from the Undertaker matches.
The only weakness, really.
That and his tummy are the only weaknesses he has, and gave him the curb stomp, which I thought was a really impactful statement and a really good segment on Raw this week. So as far as this match, a lot of people are pretty much, writing it off and saying Brock can win. I always say don't bet against Brock, but this time I'm going to bet against Brock. We do this every single year. We say, Seth should win or Roman should win. This year, I think it's possible that it happens. I think Seth does win and sets up a rematch in Saudi Arabia in some way, shape, or form. But I do think that Seth will slay the beast.
So my thing with this entire Seth run, if there's any feud that's been by the books, it's literally this feud.
And that's fine. I think I don't have a problem with this feud.
It's a feud built on circumstances that they kind of have to follow regarding who's here, who's not. It's literally the same Brock feud because Brock Lesnar is not present every week. Understandable, 100%. Yep. In terms of who do I think, the entire Seth Rollins arc, I feel like it's definitely has lost steam since the Royal Rumble. I do feel like he was on a major role heading into the Royal Rumble, and when he eventually won it, it was a great big moment. But like you said, due to the injuries, due to Brock not being there, due to a little bit of a loss of momentum, there's only so much you can do when you're talking about it instead of being about it. So I feel like, and that could be why I'm not particularly excited for this match. I recognize it'll probably be a good match because of the players involved. I think Seth Rollins is an incredible, athlete and incredible, wrestler. Top four of the decade. Do I think he's going to win this match? I'm probably going to go with Brock. I don't know. I feel like their sort of mindset when they take the title off of Brock is all right, do we need Brock with the title or do we not need Brock with the title right now?
He's had this title for almost as long as this title has been enacted. Like this title was introduced in 2015.
Yeah, so
he's had it for more than 3 of those years.
Yeah, I mean, he's had it for the last reign was over 500 days. This reign is creeping up on almost a year. Is it a year? Oh my
almost
God.
Damn near a year.
No, it's not almost a year. He won it in that October Saudi Arabia show. So it's going to be like, it's like 8 months or so, but like, it's still a pretty long time. But I feel like just the way they think, like, I feel like we thought Braun was going to do it. I feel like at some point we thought Roman was going to do it. And
I never thought Braun was going to do it.
Oh, well, sorry.
Me neither.
But I feel like it's all about their mindset, because I really do genuinely feel like they're like, does Brock need this? Does anyone else? Do we need to take the title off of Brock right now? Is there a bigger story that we can sort of tell?
The title needs to be on Raw. We always say this, but the title needs to be on that show. That show is infinitely more watchable now that Roman's back, and that if the title's there, it needs to be there. That was the plan when Roman won it, that the title would be there. They need to go ahead and go forward with that plan.
What do you think, Amp?
I think Brock's gonna win. I think the biggest story is just like maybe like Brock winning the title at winning the match and keeping the title, and then maybe like Roman Reigns getting the title off of him this summer. I think that's the biggest story, and Seth winning it.
This will be literally legitimately like the fifth year we're doing this Roman story. But I do genuinely believe, like, that's as much as Roman Reigns' health has come into play and he's still not fully there. I do genuinely feel like maybe that's the bigger payoff than.
Is it?
It is, bro. Roman versus Brock still is a bigger draw than anything else they could do on Monday night ever.
I think Brock losing is better.
Yeah. I think it's like, it seems like the bigger payoff because the whole situation with Roman Reigns, but it's just like, that's kind of like, it's the bigger one, but it's kind of also the lazier one.
Yeah,
it's only the lazier one.
Because you can do Seth versus Roman, or you can have Drew take the title off Seth. I don't see Seth holding that title that long.
You could do Seth versus Roman, but I don't know. I feel like
it would not be face heel. That's the only issue with that.
I feel like
that's fine.
I feel like they probably would end up changing one of them heel, but I just feel like
no more heel Seth, please God.
To me, there's been no angle that Brock Lesnar's leaving. There's been no angle that Brock Lesnar is actually leaving, though. Like, there's been no speculation. Like, oh, is he up after this? He's going back to UFC.
Listen, Meelz, there's always speculation that Brock's leaving. Yeah, like there's always speculation that he's going to leave. Dana White just said 2 weeks ago that when Brock's ready to call him. Like there's always a speculation that Brock will leave the company. I don't think that's the concern. I don't think you take it off of him because you know he's going to leave. You take it off of him because it's better for the show, for the brand, to just have Brock be a part-time player at this point. Like, I just think that this experiment is just so past.
It's more than an experiment, man. It's been happening for the last 3 years. It's actually just a reality at this point.
I think that this thing is just, it's past this expiration point, and like I really do feel like they see that too. And I think that if you hand it to Seth, that's a big indictment to how they feel about Seth. In which I think that with everything they've given him, other than that weird Drew McIntyre loss 3 weeks ago, that they are all behind him. They are all behind him, and I think that you do not stray the course. And the one thing I'm so glad that they've done is is kind of hold on to and not go crazy because Roman's back and change everything, because clearly Roman's not ready for that big time position yet, and I don't think he'll be ready until the summertime. So I'm glad that they've practiced restraint, because a lot of times WWE cannot practice restraint for certain things. So why not let Seth run with it and then go against Drew McIntyre and then have him lose it to Drew? Because I think that's the program at this point. I think if you have Drew beats Roman and then have Drew beat Seth again, then you can do Roman and Drew in the summer. Then you can do Roman and Seth in the fall.
I think every time there's a major pay-per-view and Brock Lesnar is still on your Rolodex, Brock Lesnar will be in either a major match or a major championship match. And and I see the same. To me, there's been no. Usually, you get a little bit of an indication. You get a little bit of thing. Like to me, there's been no indication of that. So it's kind of like, do I want to go with? I feel like we're definitely going to get something with Brock in the summer, whether he's champion or not. He will either be challenging for it, or you'll be, or he will be retaining and heading into the summer with it. But there's no, to me, there's. I'm just going with Brock, bro. Like
I really feel like of all the people, of all the storylines that could go, of all the matches that they have of these 3 top title matches, I think Kofi, no, Seth for me is I'm really leaning on a hard yes to him winning this championship. Mm-hmm. I just think there's way more places
until the 5th F5 hits, and then it's like, oh fuck.
Well, he got up from 6. That was part of the story. He got up from 6.
Well.
On TV, like they gave that away.
Did he
on
get
TV.
up?
Yeah, he got up. He told him he got up and said, "Come here, like I want more or whatever." That was the week he won it, or the week he won the Rumble or some shit. Then they wrote him off for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of curb stomps. It's gonna be like American History X.
Okay, so
it's gonna take about 6 of them.
I say Seth. No, but well, also, don't you guys feel like the nut shot is actually part of this of this finish? I think.
No DQ.
It's not, but I think like there is a possibility like if that plays into it, they wouldn't just do that for no reason. I think that like the ref gets bumped and Seth does it, and then he does what he did on Monday. I think that's the way to beat him, and that gives you the rematch in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Well, usually when Brock gets beat up on the go home show, he usually wins at WrestleMania.
He beat up Taker. He beat up Taker before he broke the streak.
No, he didn't. Taker stabbed him in the hand with that pin.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you're right.
And everybody was like, hold on, he stabbed him in the hand with the pin, and Taker gonna win. And then we see what happened.
But I just feel like, I don't know. There's something, it's just like at this point, I can't bet again. It's like to me, like trying to bet on the Spurs not making the playoffs. It's like, fuck, then they're there. Like, it's like, I can't bet against Brock. It seems like a sure thing at this point. It's so much of a sure thing that I've like bought into the kayfabe, dichotomy. And it was like, Brock Lesnar is as big as a constant in this era as anything. And
yeah, I feel you on that.
I'm really feeling Seth, but I would be happy to be proven wrong.
It's like the same thing with the Kofi match. Like I feel like I'm gonna go with Brock, and then like a Kofi match, I'm gonna go with Daniel Bryan. Yeah. But I want Seth to win, just get the title off of Brock. It's just like I don't trust the WWE to make the right decision right now.
Wow, but one thing we're also not remembering is that this is WrestleMania. We've had some wild finishes in WrestleMania that no one could conceivably understand. Like even like when AJ lost to Jericho at WrestleMania that year,
or when Nakamura lost to Nakamura and AJ last year.
Yeah, like
what was that?
Or I mean, if you want to keep it a hundo, like a lot of people still don't get Asuka losing to Charlotte. I do obviously, but it's like a lot of people still don't understand it. Like there's a lot of screwy finishes that happen on these shows. But it's never to the detriment of the show. It ends up actually working out in the end. So that's why I think that like whatever you think is gonna happen, you twist it and do it the other way. So that's why
Nakamura really work out. It didn't really work out.
I think it worked out in the sense that he got to do a bunch of matches with his boy, where he didn't have to do that much work, and then he got to have one really good match, and then he got to chill, and then he got to win a title anyway.
I don't think he. I think. I don't know. I don't know if Nakamura ever really truly worked out.
I don't know if he's worked out on the main roster. I'm gonna keep it 100. But as far as like, if you judge him on what we thought he was gonna be, hell no. If you judge him on the fact that this dude is almost 40 and he's ready to hang it up and he just wants to chill with his family and surf, fuck yeah, he worked out. He does less work.
Nah, I ain't buying that.
You think Nakamura wants the title? I think in terms of his career, in terms of his potential and everything like that, could Nakamura be a champion? Yes. Is he not a champion? Is he even on WrestleMania? No.
Like from going from the WrestleMania main event one year to not even being on the damn card.
That's how it works. Meelz, come on, that's how it works. You know, that's how WrestleMania works.
Yeah, that's how it worked back in the day. I think people so used to everybody being on the card, but back in the day, used to be a lot of good people not on the card at all on the WrestleMania.
Yeah, like you
really?
You're not. Well, Kofi was a fucking host one year. Come on, don't even
Kofi
try.
was on the card, yeah, but he was there.
He was in the Money in the Bank. He was in some shit like that. Like some people just don't make the card. Again, this is not a popularity contest.
Oh yeah, really, all right.
It's what works.
I remember, CM Punk made the card every year. Seth Rollins makes the card every year if he's there. It's not spoiled. It's just the fact that they put people higher than the other. You're just what do you want me? I mean,
it's been you gotta
go
want
back. Talent Meelz. Hashtag we want talent Meelz, dog. I'm not crying. I'm not crying for Nakamura to be on this show.
I'm not crying either. He's not really relevant right now.
Yeah, I don't know the dudes off the top of the head, but it's been times where like upper mid card dudes wasn't on a WrestleMania card.
Was Chris Jericho ever not featured on a WrestleMania that he was never at?
It's been times where RVD was not on the card.
Where was he? I want to know where he is. RVD has been on the card. He's won like at 6 straight WrestleManias.
Yo, but your example is fucking Shinsuke Nakamura, who by the time he got to, by the time he left, no, who gives a shit about that? He was a terrible NXT champion too.
Then this is still awful. Adding to my point.
He was bad. He has been bad. I am the biggest Nakamura mark, and I'm telling you right now, he has been bad for a long time.
Sure.
Ain't no sure he has. Ain't no fucking sure he has.
Go ahead.
Fuck you mean? Like he's been bad for a long time. He was not been the same since he left New Japan Pro Wrestling. He has not been the same.
I'm just saying, if you want to say that I'm sure in in hindsight now, we look at this a year later on and he'll be on a different place, maybe, and probably will be on the WrestleMania card. But as of right now, he's on the card and it really didn't work out. He was in the WWE champion. He's legitimately in a worse place than Jinder Mahal right now, who is on the WrestleMania card, by the way.
It's worse when you're the WWE champion and now you're not even on the card now. Well, you're on the pre-show, but still. He ain't jobbing.
So he's not on the card.
They protect the shit. Here's my thing. They protect the shit out of Nakamura. Why am I weeping for someone who won the Royal Rumble and who was a U.S. champion, who was an NXT champion? I'm not weeping for him. He's fine.
All right.
Fuck you mean?
All right. Yeah, we doing this back and forth. Nakamura can win the Andre the Giant. They still haven't.
Anybody can win the Andre.
Like 10 people. They only announced like 10 people for the shit.
They announced like 26 people, I thought. I think everyone.
They announced 26?
Yeah, I think everybody that was in Around the Ring is part of it. That was Around the Ring on Monday, and
then everyone who'll probably be Around the Ring on SmackDown tonight.
Yeah, like whatever. Like, who listen. I'm not weeping.
Nakamura is irrelevant. I'm definitely not weeping for Nakamura. So
did it work out? I think it worked out in the sense that Nakamura was on SmackDown programming damn near weekly for a good portion of that of last year, and then when it was time for him to move on, he had that U.S. Championship for way too long. He beat Jeff Hardy in like 12 seconds. He did a lot of shit past the AJ thing. He just didn't beat AJ because they wanted AJ to break that record. That's it.
Do you think it worked out for Rusev?
Listen, I'm not a Rusev mark. That's you.
Okay. All right. Kind of proved my point.
I don't give a shit about Rusev.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about Rusev. I'm gonna keep it 100. If he left yesterday, I'd be like, bye, bitch.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, all right then.
I'm not mad. Rusev fan.
I'm just saying, you weeping for the weirdest. Like you.
I'm not weeping for. What am I weeping for? I'm not weeping for Nakamura.
Rusev?
I'm not weeping for Rusev.
Like, huh? Who? Imagine somebody loving Rusev. Anyway, main event time.
People love Rusev, but go ahead.
Yeah, whack people love Rusev.
Okay.
Hey, I got a Rusev Day T-shirt. I'm kind of embarrassed I got it, but I do got it.
Because it was a moment and it was a thing. Never be embarrassed that Rusev was a thing.
No, it was half off.
It was half off. He got it in the bin still. It's a pretty good shirt. It held up that long.
Yeah. It was sale day.
It was BOGO.
It was sale day on WWE Shop.
So it was BOGO for sure.
That's the only reason I own it.
Main event time. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, the SmackDown Women's Champion, versus Ronda Rousey, the Raw Women's Champion, in a winner takes all triple threat match for both belts. So the winner, as announced by Stephanie on Raw on Monday, was that whoever wins the match will be the undisputed women's champion of both brands. They will have both belts.
They didn't say undisputed. They just said would hold both belts.
Would hold both belts. I'm sorry. Let me clear that up.
Yeah, to clear that up because
no unifying.
Yeah, just hold both belts.
They're just gonna hold both belts. I think that's gonna be very interesting and play into a lot of what we fantasy book here. This has been honestly some of the strangest couple of months, I will say, for any main event program. I would say that this started way back in August. I think this is the longest running storyline that's been going on WWE programming, like damn near a year that they've been doing this storyline between Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda. It reached its peak in November when Becky did get injured legitimately and had Charlotte go against Ronda at Survivor Series. Has been going on through two different brands all throughout the winter. Now we are in WrestleMania season. It's time to put up or shut up. It's time for these ladies to show out, and they're going to be closing the show on Sunday. So, fellas, how do you feel about this storyline going into it before we announce who we think we're going to win? Like, how do you guys feel about it going into the actual match now?
I'm not going to cry about this, but I still do feel like it could have just been for the Raw Women's Championship. But whatever, because apparently there's no explanation for it, and now just all titles are on the line just for shits and giggles.
It's the biggest main event they've ever done.
What?
It would have still been the biggest main event they've ever done.
It is the biggest event they've ever done.
Let me ask Meelz a question.
Sure.
All right, so you talking about Asuka, right?
Talking about Asuka.
You talking about Asuka? You talking about? That's what you talking about, right?
Oh, sure, yeah. I feel like I'm definitely going to be led astray into some sort of point. But yes, go ahead.
I know y'all talk. I'm pretty sure y'all talked about Asuka already.
We have a long argument.
I feel like. Yeah. I'm talking about today too. But I feel like the SmackDown title being in this match is a better look because if Asuka would have kept her title, it would have probably been on the pre-show. It would have been a bullshit match that nobody cares about. It's a better look that the SmackDown title is in this main event as a winner takes all.
But if you're Meelz, you would have been like, but she would have been on the card anyway.
Okay. Anyway.
She's on the card. She's in that one lady that
No, it's just a women's battle royal now. It is just an all-encompassing women's evolution battle royal now.
She would have been on the card anyway.
She would have been on the card. I don't know what you were complaining about. Like, bro,
I'm not
it would have been even if it was on the pre-show, it would have been a women's championship match on the pre-show instead of the battle royal, or the battle royal including a women's championship match. Now,
if Asuka would have been in the pre-show, people would have cried.
Look at the card now. As great of a women's match there is. Let me see. Let me actually look at this card again. I'm still with the thing that they could have kept it on the card and gave somebody an opportunity. It would have been a major match nonetheless. As great as it does look, I say yes, it does look great for the SmackDown Women's Championship to be in the main event. It's not necessary. None of this was necessary. They legitimately
Charlotte's the GOAT. Like I said,
it's legitimately there for no reason. They didn't even bother to explain it.
If Mandy Rose would have beat Asuka, y'all would have been crying. Stop it.
It don't matter though. Like, I don't get what's the point of having. Matter. No, it never mattered. And you didn't even bother to listen to my point last week. I said it didn't matter. I said at the point you're doing a detriment to the SmackDown Women division by legitimately no story. Just says, actually, the number one contender match you're gonna have, we're taking that. We're taking the Women's Championship. We're doing all this thing because this requires it. And yes, great. Finally, yes, this is going to be great for women. All this other stuff. This is a big thing. But you take away an opportunity from a lot of the women. And now they're going to have to go in this battle royal, which definitely no one's going to care about now. So,
hey, they got matches.
I mean,
they're on the card anyway, though, Meelz.
I guess.
They're on the card anyway, like you said. So, like, at the end of the day, I feel like people are not still understanding the fact that there's no way Charlotte was not going to have some type of prestige going into this match.
She didn't need the prestige, bro. She's the 7-time women's champion. What did she need? She's 8 times now, but she was 7 times before. What did she need to be in this match? What did her title event?
I think she would have had the title going into this match, I feel, anyway.
Then what was the point of even putting it on Asuka?
I agree. Riddle me that.
What's the point? Make it make sense, bro. No, I'm not gonna stop. It doesn't make sense.
All right. I'm out there.
It doesn't make sense, bro. It doesn't make sense. What was the point of putting on Asuka and crowning Asuka and then having her beat Becky to take the championship off of her? What was the point? Make it make sense, bro. That's all I'm asking for. Make it make sense. Hashtag make it make sense. It don't make sense, bro. But here we are, the biggest women's main event of all time between Ronda Rousey, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. And if I'm picking a person who's going to walk out with 2 championships, I'm probably picking Becky Lynch.
Man, I got Charlotte Flair winning, man. Charlotte Flair was gonna win this match regardless.
I feel if it's Charlotte versus Ronda, I think Charlotte was definitely winning this regardless. Either way, I think if there's anyone sure who's not coming out of this match a champion, I think we're sure maybe Ronda Rousey. I mean, it would be great if Ronda Rousey won both belts. I mean, it looks good for the picture opportunity and all this other stuff. But when you're investing in the future and you're investing in the company for as far as we go on, I mean, you got to go. If you're investing long term and you're like, okay, this is how I kind of want WrestleMania to look now down the line, Charlotte becomes the undisputed GOAT. As much of a GOAT as she is right now, it's undisputed when she wins both the SmackDown and the Raw Women's Championship at the same time. Becky Lynch managing to take it off of 2 of the most dominant women's champions of the last decade. It looks great for her as well. Ronda Rousey winning this match by any means or stretch of imagination already pits her as one of the greatest women's champions of all time. It's a major match. I get it. The SmackDown Women's Championship, I get it. You know, but I mean, what have you thought about this feud thus far leading into this?
All right, so the build-up was if I had to give it a grade, I'd give it like maybe a C+. Now I would actually give it a B after like last night's Raw.
Because of everyone.
I still don't know how to feel about that segment. I don't know if that was like classic or was it a train wreck? It was just so much going on with the windows getting bust out.
So I think that was the segment. I feel like that was the segment they had planned going on all along for mad long because that was incredible. Whether it was like a train wreck or whether it was like it just visually, and if you need to like, it's sort of a different way to bring the intensity of the match. Like instead of like the breakup thing where everyone's breaking up, because at this point security guards mean nothing in the WWE. Like the Miz is running through them, the women are running through them, they mean nothing in the WWE. But having that sort of chaos with windows breaking and all this other stuff looked incredible.
Yeah, my only question is how the hell did Ronda Rousey get into the front of the car? And how did she put the car in drive with handcuffs on?
Yo, Ronda Rousey is an Olympian. She is a mixed martial art champion. She is a wrestling champion. I don't know. Like, that's enough of a big question as me.
Man, she's flexible as hell, man. I don't know how she pulled it off, but she got it done, man. But
Justin, gonna be good. Justin, what are your thoughts going into this match? Please break your moment of silence, please.
Oh, I can talk now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
I can speak now. Wow.
You can definitely speak, bro. Come on, man.
Meelz has allowed me to speak. That's crazy.
I don't allow anyone to speak, bro.
That's crazy, bro.
Oh wow.
I don't allow anyone to speak.
Wow, that's
you don't allow anyone to speak.
Dame Dash would not approve of another man letting another man speak.
Well, I mean, clearly, I can't explain things anymore.
It's problematic.
I clearly, I had to, take a break because I wasn't allowed to speak. I was stifled by the booking of Meelz. I think this. I didn't like the story at all. I don't think the story's good. Again, I will not attempt to defend or make a large sweeping explanation as to a lot of the decisions that they made, because you have to remember
stinky tweets.
Yeah, because you have to remember this is a like the tweets, the injury angle, the people getting fired, the people getting suspended and unsuspended, the people losing. Becky won the Royal Rumble, and I don't think anyone remembers that. After, like, I don't think anyone, unless they came up on the Chiron saying that she won the Royal Rumble, no one remembers that, because Charlotte was literally
I don't either.
She was put into the match, and even the way Becky won the Royal Rumble was like, that was a great moment, I think. But I think that I remember Seth winning more. Like, I just remember Becky's moment.
Yeah, I don't even remember Seth winning that shit. I think this past Royal Rumble was like, like I forgot Seth won this shit.
That's not what they talk about. Was him winning it?
I mean,
that's literally all they talk about, was him winning.
Like when Nakamura won, it was like Nakamura.
That's because nobody.
Asuka won.
That's because nobody thought Nakamura was gonna win. We all knew Asuka was gonna win that fucking match.
It could have been Nikki Bella.
I thought Nakamura was gonna win.
Meelz, you think they were gonna have?
No. I'm fucking with you. Hell no, no.
Come on, Asuka had beaten everyone on Raw at that point. She was not losing.
She beat everyone at the same time.
Yeah, it was obvious that Asuka was gonna win. I thought Nakamura. That's who I picked. I picked Nakamura to win that.
Did I pick him? I said a SmackDown guy was gonna win, didn't I?
You said a SmackDown guy was gonna win. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I picked Nakamura because I knew the money was going to be Nakamura versus AJ, but that was last year. We talking about this year.
So I think a lot of things that they did to go into this were ingenious, like how WWE quickly changed course with the Charlotte Ronda thing at Survivor Series, and then they moved forward with everything. Like, I don't agree. Like I was going to say before, I don't agree with them having Asuka win that title in December. I think it would have been a better look to just bury her under tables and then just have Charlotte win the title in December. Like that's fine. That gives Asuka a chance. Like, no one would have complained if that was the case, you know? Right. I think more people were upset at that. I completely get that side. I completely agree, and I think that's what they should have done. Do I think that Charlotte having the belt is a detriment to anything? Maybe personally for her, because she has to deal with all of these Twitter people that are literally saying that she's wrong for accepting or having to accept what is her job and do her job every single night. Yes, that sucks for her.
I mean, she looks like she's having a blast, so I don't even know. Man.
Oh, all right. It's still your job. Your boss says go out and do this. You're gonna say yes.
Yeah, that's
at the end of the day. So like you can't say no to it. I mean, I'm like, Asuka's gonna be fine. That's what I'm saying. This isn't even about her. But I think that Charlotte going into this, as she is, I think it sets up with her with the belt. It sets up that sense of, and to go back to last year's WrestleMania or Royal Rumble. Remember when Nakamura and Roman were the last two, and everyone said, "Oh shit, Roman's gonna win. There's no way they're gonna let Nakamura win this," and he did, and everyone popped like crazy, right? I think that's what they're doing here with Charlotte. She is the lightning bolt because Ronda isn't the best heel here. Becky's the best face heel. Charlotte is clear, far and beyond the best heel in this match. Everyone wants to see her get her comeuppance. And I think that you cast that shadow of doubt by saying, now, if Charlotte wins this, she'd have both belts. She'd be the greatest of all time. They wouldn't really do that, would they? And then you start to think, oh, shit, it's going to be her. And then Becky wins. That makes Becky look even more like a fucking champion. Even if she's beaten Charlotte 8 times before, she's never beaten Ronda. And going out like that makes this a bigger win for Becky, who I do think will win. I think you send the fans home happy. The fans will not go home happy. I swear. I hope they do not Brock Roman this. Do what's right. Have Becky win. And I say have Becky say, I don't want the SmackDown title. I want to go to Raw and just hand it over.
Damn, then what was the point of Asuka losing it?
The point of that, and it's already. Here's the thing: it's as I've said before. I said it last week. It was to make sure all of these titles are represented on this show, in this match. It could not be Asuka in this main event. It was never going to be her.
No, it was never going to be Asuka. I'm very clear of that. I feel like here's my thing. I want Becky to win. I feel like Becky holding both championships and having to defend both championships continues her sort of story of the man and doing an overachieving, and her whole like entire ego getting kind of in the way of things that kind of Triple H was hinting towards late last year or something along those lines. I feel like it's definitely cool if she's like on both shows and she's like, okay, on the next pay-per-view that's not in Saudi Arabia, I'm facing this champion, and then later in the night, I'm facing that champion. I don't think there's ever been one women's champion that has defended both titles, or even the double women's champion at this point, ever in history. So that's why I'm going for Becky. I mean, but Charlotte is also Charlotte, so
she's the GOAT, but I don't think on this night she will be the GOAT. But I think she's going to have plenty of times to win and lose. And I honestly think that the big money here is to finally break up Becky and Charlotte. I think this is also going to solve, where it's like, if Becky does get both belts, she doesn't have to just be on one show. She can literally just go to Raw and have a main focus storyline there, and then the women on SmackDown can fight it out to be the next contender. And I think really what they need to do with the brand split is split all of these women up right now. I think like Becky and Charlotte for sure. We do not need to see another match or promo between these two women for a very long time. I think this is the end of their storyline here.
Until the cell lowers again. And but no, I agree. I feel like this is a definitive match. I'm proud of the women for getting this far. If you had told me 5 years ago that women would be main eventing WrestleMania, I would have said, the crack is sizzling.
Yeah.
Especially even 20 years ago, when legitimately like WrestleMania 2000, like the only women's match on the card is Terry versus Miss Cat in a thong stink face match. And and not to downplay the efforts of both ladies in this match, but we've come a long way.
Meelz, I know you ain't see this coming because you know women can go over the top rope. So,
oh shit! All right.
Oh,
I'm never gonna live that down, but I agree. Yes,
sure won't.
Tremendous show. One more question for everyone here: what is going to be your match of the weekend this year between Takeover and WrestleMania? What's going to be your match of the weekend? What are you predicting to be match of the weekend?
Oof. Okay, so it's probably going to be on NXT Takeover, just cause, like,
damn, I got like 3.
Are they all on NXT Takeover?
2 is going to be on WrestleMania. 1 is Takeover.
Really?
Gargano, my NXT. Damn, I might have 4 because I already know Velveteen Dream and
he about to go stupid, man. Come on,
not real. That's going to go up. Gargano versus Adam Cole is gonna go up.
This Pete Dunne Walter match is competitive. I could say that will grow up if it's competitive.
Man, he's gonna be slapping him in the chest, man. Slapping him in the chest.
Slapping him in the chest.
That Drew versus Roman, that match gonna be extra piped up.
I don't think that match is gonna last very long.
That match it's probably gonna be like 10 minutes, but it's gonna slap. It's gonna be crazy.
Okay.
And then Daniel Bryan and Kofi gonna be wild just off the near falls.
Yeah.
When they get to the end and they start the near falls, I already know people have heart attacks.
They're gonna say, "Oh Lord, this reminds me of when Booker T and Triple H."
Oh my God! Why do you have to put in that voice too? Oh my God!
Give it up. Let it go. Can we let that match go?
Can we let WrestleMania 19 go? If Kofi wins, we officially have to let WrestleMania 19 go. Oh, come on.
Even if Kofi doesn't win, you still
No, if Kofi doesn't win, it legitimately does not prove that racism doesn't exist in WWE.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Kofi would have to win for him if we get that.
Kofi would have to win to expel the racism claim that's been over WrestleMania 19 for the last umpteen years. Kofi would have to win.
Let me slap on my Daniel Bryan shirt. Racism's still alive, baby.
Even nobody won't bring this up, but throughout that feud, Booker T was beating the hell out of Ric Flair throughout that whole feud.
I mean, well, listen,
he was getting his comeuppance.
He beat him up in that bathroom, right?
he beat him up a couple times.
I mean,
the bathroom in particular.
They were like, "Listen, that's just what they do, man. They're just thugs who come out here." And
they was acting like Triple H called him the N-word, ER at the end.
He almost said it.
Bad. Booker T wasn't looking like a hoe during that feud.
Kofi doesn't look like a hoe during this feud.
No, Kofi doesn't look. Actually, they look incredibly awesome. It looks like Brotherhood is coming out over everything.
They beat everyone on SmackDown, bro.
They actually did. They
beat everybody on SmackDown. How could y'all be mad at
a whole
this?
tag team?
Exactly. He's like a 74 in 2K.
Kofi legit beat what's the bar, like 5-time tag team champs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he beat them by himself with no help.
Oh, all right.
So Daniel Bryan.
Listen, this year Kofi Kingston's going up. He's going to be the highest overall.
Didn't he pin Daniel Bryan like 3 times?
Twice. Tag matches, I think. No, tag match in the gauntlet.
Gauntlet match, yeah.
Yeah, tag match in the gauntlet. Yeah. Tag match.
Actually, the gauntlet he lost. Didn't he?
Oh no, yeah, you're right. No, there was the first gauntlet. I thought he beat Daniel the first gauntlet. I thought
there was a first gauntlet.
Yeah, it was the gauntlet. Yeah, he beat him the first gauntlet because the second gauntlet is when Daniel came in at the end.
Yeah, so he pinned him like 3 times.
Oh yeah. Wait, huh?
There was 2 gauntlets.
Too many gauntlets. I'm good on gauntlets after WrestleMania.
There were 2. I think the gauntlet was to get him into Fastlane.
Right.
Remember? And then he said, "No, you can't do it because it's going to be Kevin Owens." That was the first time he beat him.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second time he beat him. The first time he beat him was the tag match.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yes. You're right.
But so Amp, those were your matches of the weekend, right?
Yeah. But if I had to pick though, I'm gonna go with Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle.
Okay, that's a good pick. That's a great pick. Who do you think is gonna win that match, Amp? I know we talked about this earlier on the show, but who do you think is gonna win that match?
Go ahead and put it on Matt. Yeah, let's get Velveteen on the main roster.
Y'all tripping if y'all want him on the main roster right now. Go ahead, Meelz.
Oh, what do you got against black people?
Wow. Oh, is this the new narrative? Is the new narrative that I'm
wow. MAGA J5.
Don't start this. Do not start this.
Hold on. I got a question, but I'm gonna wait till we done with this.
I'm gonna go with. Oh man, listen. I think if Pete Dunne and Walter is competitive, I'm going for Pete Dunne and Walter. If it's not competitive, I would say, I really think that main event of WrestleMania is going to be just a different type of energy. It's going to have the energy. It's going to have the intensity. It's going to have the skill. None of these 3 women are slouches in the ring. And all these 3 women, I would like to have to believe, have been thinking about this match for a long, long time. So I could definitely see that. And legitimately, I don't see besides Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston, I don't really see any other, match of the year qualifiers on this card.
On this weekend?
So on this card, on the WrestleMania card, sorry.
WrestleMania. Got it. My match of the weekend, I think it's, oh man, it's going to be a lot of matches, but I think that, Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor with the Demon, I think that's going to be match.
Hey, get out of here, man. Get your ass out of here.
What do you mean?
He's planning on giving that 7 stars, man. The Demon's already here. He's planning on giving that 7 stars, bro.
Demon, baby. Come on, what you talking about? The Demon's here. If he wins this match in 15 seconds, 7 stars, Amp. 7 fucking stars, bro.
It's gonna be like 5 minutes of Leo Rush on the side looking like Macaulay Culkin with his mouth open, looking scared of the Demon. He might even piss his pants knowing Vince.
That'd be fire. Have Leo piss and then beat his feet to some go-go.
Oh my God. All right. Okay. Now you made it not fun.
If it's not that, then I do think that Velveteen and Matt Riddle will tear the house down at Takeover for sure.
All right. I got now. This is my question though, real quick.
Okay.
Seeing that they already kind of did call-ups already that they really didn't do much with. Are we even really gonna get call-ups like NXT call-ups at the WrestleMania weekend?
I would hope not.
Yeah, we should. Yeah,
maybe Shayna Baszler, maybe.
Yes, Shayna, Kyrie. I think for the men they're good. I think if they move Gargano to 205, I think that might be the only man they move. But I think with Ricochet and Alistair, it looks pretty clear that they didn't give them the belt, A, because they have to, they're going to be on TakeOver, and B, because they're not really on Raw at all. They shouldn't have the title, just in case, you know how they are. Like last minute, they'll say he goes here, he goes here. I do think as far as the men and the women that they've called up, that whole class since December that they've called up that's going to be pretty much set. It's just a shame they had to wait 3-4 months before they got placed somewhere. But I think the only people that have to move up again are Shayna and Kyrie and Johnny if he does lose. But I'd be pretty safe to say that wherever Ricochet and Aleister go, they're going to be the top programs or in a top program wherever they go. So I don't think they're going to move up anybody else.
Gotcha.
Unless we get like a dummy move up, like the Forgotten Sons or something.
No, they're going to be there for a while. They got to beat the black people down there.
Oh well. All right. This continues to further the argument of you and your disdain for black people. But here we are.
I have a disdain for black people. I verbally fillet Ricochet on this show all the time. This isn't StarCast.
Oh, whoa.
This isn't AEW, bro. Like I love black people, bro. What are you talking about?
This is true. All right.
So that is the show. I want to thank Amp for coming through. And when can we expect the next episode of Random Acts of Podcast Gaming?
Should be next week.
Next week.
And what about the Random Acts of Podcast as well? How's that going?
Oh, that's every Thursday, man. My co-host is in jail, so it's gonna be
Whoa.
stand-ins. Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, he's back in prison, man. I ain't gonna say, but he's back in jail. So
cracking cards.
Yeah, man. so we're gonna have some special guests coming through for the next couple of weeks. But yeah, we every Thursday, no matter.
Hold your head, Devin.
No, keep that nigga. I mean,
no.
Damn, I almost made it. I almost made it.
So Random Acts of Podcast Gaming is coming back in a week. Random Acts of Podcast is every Thursday. Thank you, Ann, for being on the show. And as always, you can follow us at RNC Radio Live on Twitter. Check us out. We've got so much content coming down the pipeline every single day. Subscribe to us on SoundCloud at A Show RNC. And you can also subscribe to us at RNC Radio Live on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher. Am I missing one? Apple Podcasts.
Apple iTunes, the thing that they do, yes. Apple iTunes. Just listen to us everywhere, pretty much.
Yeah, for sure.
Best wrestling podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Am. And once again, thank you for being on the show. And thank you guys for listening. Please be safe this weekend if you're going to be in New York for Wrestlemania weekend. And I can't wait to see all you guys' reactions to the show. And I can't wait to hear what you guys thought about the show afterwards. We're going to be back next week with a full rundown of everything that's happened on this whole weekend, including Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So until next week, peace out.
Peace. Happy Rusev Day.